system in place to keep us in chains. By show of hands, who else is sick and tired of the same 1%, trying to keep us small, trying to keep us from getting out, minimizing the struggles they've caused, saying we're not working hard enough now. Day after day, we're working it all away. They keep poking the bear, and they're bound to get made. So I'll raise my glass for the hard-working class. Keep your fires burning hot, we can't be silent.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the thousands in attendance and for the millions watching at home, DCK Productions proudly brings to you the greatest podcast in the world! The greatest podcast in the world? Suck it. No, you suck it. No, you suck it. No, you suck it. No, you suck it. I appreciate it if you both suck it. Suck it!
We really should stop this fighting. Otherwise, we'll miss the fireworks.
There won't be any fireworks.
And here we go. And welcome, everybody, to Suck It! I am the great and powerful King of Kings, Prince of all that is awesome. Derek, how is everybody tonight on this Tuesday, September 22nd of the wacky and horrible year that is 2020? I hope everybody's enjoying their week so far. 4 more days to the weekend. Fall is in the air if you're living in the Northeast or like I am, and it's beautiful outside. 60, 50 degrees right now, and just chilling, wearing a hoodie all day, windows open, AC off. It's just been fantastic. For y'all, living on the West Coast, y'all can't enjoy that right now. Sorry. Or, my family in Florida, screw y'all. But we are here tonight to have some fun. Another doubleheader show. First, I have a fashion designer and an inventor and all these cool things. And then later, I have an author and an activist. Just a fantastic Tuesday night that it will be. So, let's just get right to it. So, my first guest is the founder of the Seraph clothing line. He invented innovative processes in the Wind Renewable Energy business and Rocket and Spacecraft Industry with SpaceX. He's worked in the retail business. He's just done a bunch of different things, including being a DJ for 6 years. So please welcome to the show, Mr. Casey Wright. Hey, buddy, how are you?
Good. What's going on?
Nothing much, man. How's life?
Good. Yeah. It's been crazy with all the COVID stuff, but just pushing ahead and trying to get whatever I can going. And so it's been nuts. I took 3 months off of SpaceX to focus on the fashion business and to also get my TV show off the ground. So I've been shooting the behind the scenes of how high fashion stuff's made and just following the journey. So it's been pretty crazy, but pretty rad. I'm over here in LA.
Yes, you are. Where it's still hot as hell.
Yeah, man. It is.
It's crazy.
It is hot over here.
It was 30 degrees last night. I woke up, it was 37. Didn't break 60 today, and I feel bad for you.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, it's like 110 everywhere. It feels like Arizona or something.
Yeah, no, right? That's crazy.
I'll take that over the cold. I just got used to it, man.
I'm originally from Ohio, and I moved to Florida when I was 8, and I never got used to the heat, man. I was there for 25, almost 30 years, somewhere in there, and I never got used to it. And I spent the last 4 years in Northern Virginia, and I never want to go anywhere else.
Yeah, when you find out the temperature that you work best with, stick with it.
Yeah. I could not do the humidity or 100-degree weather anymore, man.
Well, shoot, I worked in Minnesota when I was repairing wind turbine blades, and that was crazy. So we'd have to gear up in all the bunny suits, we'd be, I think it was like the dead of winter in, what was that? Evelyn and Virginia, Minnesota, just way up there. And so, yeah, it'd be 0 degrees. We'd put on a Tyvek, jump inside the wind turbine, and then it would get to 100 degrees. So you'd be sweating like crazy and then jump out into 0 degrees. So I've been through some crazy weather. Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely say so, especially in Minnesota. I mean, because in Minnesota, it goes like, 110, 115 degrees in the wintertime. I mean, the summertime because of all the damn rivers and lakes that they have, and then
Oh, yeah.
sub-0 degree weather the rest of the year. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah, it's nuts.
I don't know how people can manage that weather. I mean, if it was consistently cold all the time, great. But consistently, like, up and down like that, that's crazy. So,
Yeah, that's nuts.
let's talk about you, man. So, because you
Okay.
have had an interesting, career to date. I mean, you were DJ, you work for SpaceX, you have your own fashion line, dude. I mean, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, for me, I'm ambidextrous, so it's right hand, left hand, does everything, and so I got to get the creative side and then that logical side out, and so that's how I express myself through doing the fashion with the creative side, and then with the rocket, spacecraft, and anything mechanical on the other side of the brain. Yeah, I'll give you like the little bio. So started off, I'm trying to walk around and see if I can get the picture to show up. So I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, started off in my parents' garage working on carbon fiber exhaust tubes. Did some development for Yamaha for the R1 and R6 exhaust pipe. And then later on ended up figuring out, I'm like, well, this carbon fiber is so expensive. How can I sell it for like smaller pieces for a good profit? And that's when I started thinking like, well, maybe if I make like men's money clips or cufflinks. And then so I made a couple and went on Rodeo Drive in LA or Beverly Hills area. Just went door to door to these high-end boutiques. Like, hey, you want to buy money clips? And some of them were like, sure. And then they said, what else do you do? I said, what do you want? And I'll make it. And they said, belts. It was during the time of all the premium denim with True Religion, Rock and Republic, and all those brands. So we started making belts, did a couple of those, and then, but wasn't paying the bills. So kept working, worked at the wind turbine company, and then got to develop some processes over there with resin infusion, pre-preg, hand lay, press molding, all that. Parts that were like giant. So 150 foot long wind turbine blade, 3 sections. So it was nuts. It was massive. And it was like 19-hour days, and still trying to do the fashion business on the side. Then I've been at SpaceX the last 7 years, been a part of just the awesomeness and the craziness that goes along with it. And the deadlines, but that's been like the coolest journey to be a part of the aerospace, like community, and just to know like a lot of the things that you've had your hands on are going to be in the aerospace museum, the Smithsonian Aerospace Museum. And it's like, whoa, that's crazy. Yeah. Or like things that you work on, like that's literally in orbit around Mars. Like, so that it's been pretty epic. And then the last 3 months of 3 months of taking the time off to focus on the fashion business, some charities, and my own TV show. So that's been wild too. And just learning the nuts and bolts of it.
That's insane, man. So let's start with SpaceX, because that to me is, I mean, other than the ocean, space is my my biggest scientific love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love I was a big physics nerd back in the day. Before I started getting beat up all the time, being a professional wrestler and stuff.
Okay.
I took one too many hits to the head, and now I've lost a lot of knowledge. But no, in all reality, I mean, physics has always been my jam. I mean, I took AP physics in high school, and I never went to college, but that was always something I wanted to pursue. But that whole everything that's encompassing with that is just fascinating to me. So what are some of the things that you've worked on for SpaceX? I know you mentioned, some wind stuff, but what else have you done?
Let's see. So with all right, so let me see. One, I'm gonna try and get this thing to flip around now. All right. So let's see. Of the limited things I can say, because it's all kinds of proprietary things with working on rockets and getting approval. But I've worked on. All right, so it's that. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Just had to mess with it a little bit. First time on this type of podcast. Nope. All right. So, aft thermal shield, Dragon, Crew Dragon, heavy, like pretty much everything since 2013 that's gone through SpaceX. I've got to work with. So I'm a production supervisor. Got some crews that work under me, and then departments that I work with, based in Hawthorne. So it's been wild. Like Elon, like he's the myth and the legend, just like that awesome visionary. It's not too often where like you wear a company shirt that says SpaceX, and then you go out in public and people are like, "Whoa, that's a dope shirt, bro." I'm like, "Yeah, I work there." Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
If you're working for AT&T or like Verizon, it's not like, "Bro, you work for the phone company? That's cool." So it's like you're kind of famous for just working there, because what we're doing is just epic.
Yeah, I mean, you said it yourself. I mean, he is a genius and a visionary, but he's also a mad scientist too. He's the
Okay.
yeah. I mean, the dude is just massively,
And he's
yeah.
self-taught,
Yeah, that's the biggest part about it.
And that's one of the things that I admire about, just like, I don't have any like formal schooling. I grew up like lower middle class. The one thing that we had, so I'm one of three brothers. I'm the middle child. So thus the fashion designer, breakdancing, and all that. Trying to get the attention as the middle child. But
Right.
yeah. But that's one of the things that, for me, I didn't have the money available to go to college. I didn't have the money available to do anything. It was get a job and make it happen yourself. So that school of hard knocks, that's really big. All three of us brothers, and it's kind of funny. We're all the Wright brothers, and we all worked at SpaceX. It's like, and we all started off at a bike shop in Hermosa Beach. It's like the crazy little things. Like, we should be related to these guys.
So wait a second. So you ended up at SpaceX with no college.
Correct. Just at the time, it was 11 years of sweat equity, just hard work.
Wow.
And then I had 5 years, or was I? Yeah, 5 or 7 years of experience as a production manager, and then 11 years in the carbon fiber industry, and that was in 2012. So now, but that's the one thing. It's like you go to any job and you come straight out of college, and they want you to have 10 years of experience. It's like, it's not going to happen. Yeah. But for me, it did, because I've been working since 2013 on carbon fiber and fiberglass. Got to invent a bunch of processes, and then now that at SpaceX, all the production, I got a hand on it, and then just great teams, and everybody at SpaceX has been awesome. So it's been a wild and awesome journey with them, and just stoked to be there. And so that's the one awesome thing about too, is he saw it was better than the college degree. So once they saw that through interview years ago, and I believe they still hire that way, is if you got the experience and you're the best person qualified, doesn't matter what you are, where you come from, they'll give you a shot. And that's the beautiful thing about SpaceX. There's open
awesome.
Opportunity for the right people.
Literally the right people.
So yeah. 3 of them.
Yeah, right. That is. I didn't realize that that they did it like that. I thought obviously everyone thinks you have to be some astrophysicist to go work in a field like that. But that's actually really what's the word? I can't think of the word I'm trying to say, but it's motivational in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for like you said,
Oh, for
you
sure.
you grew up in a way
Hard
where
work
you
pays
couldn't
off.
afford. Exactly. You grew up at you
Yeah,
couldn't afford to
I
go
was
to
never going to
college.
be an engineer.
Yeah, but that's so cool, man. Because that again, just to be able to have your hand in anything like that, regardless of whether it's Tesla or SpaceX,
Yeah.
those two companies are just on the forefront of it all. I mean,
Oh
10,
yeah.
15 years ago, I mean, who would have thought we would have had a supercar that could go as fast as they
Yeah.
do just based off of electricity? That, is
Yeah.
unreal to me. I mean, we still, Toyota still hasn't figured it out. They still have the Prius, but yet they're over there,
Yeah.
using, you know, 21,700 batteries and 2,700 batteries to make a freaking car go as fast as it does, and it's sick.
Oh yeah, dude, it's amazing. The Model S and like, and he had the vision for it. He got
He
on
did.
to Tesla super early, and he switched it up to make it the business that he envisioned, and just killed it. I mean, uh, there's like a biography about Elon. I don't think it's the like officially claimed or whatever, but it's a good perspective. And you
Hmm.
just look at all the things and the trials and tribulations that he went through. I mean, dude came from nothing too. That's what's like awesome. And he came over here from South Africa, and made it happen. Like that's the American dream, right? It's like come
Yeah,
over to the land of opportunity. You put the hard work in, you keep persevering, and then things come together. I think a lot of
absolutely.
people quit too early. They don't get it. Like,
Oops, hold on, sorry, forgot to mute my phone. My bad.
I
Um,
thought that was like some kind of Star Wars commercial break.
no, I at least warn people before I go to a commercial break. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, because I mean, when you put it like that, I mean, you guys have very similar parallels. Which is
yeah.
fascinating. So what is it like working for that man?
Let's see. As the visionary, he's on point, and it's about building the team, and he knows how to delegate and proper execution to have the best people in the best positions. And that's why we're so streamlined and successful at what we do. Where you look at the traditional aerospace industry, that's very lot of bureaucracy and red tape to cut through, and we do everything on point, legal, and quick as possible. So that's what gives us our edge and keeps us ahead of everybody. And we're willing to innovate. The
Yeah,
rest of the industry, like they're using decade old technology, and we're on the forefront of it,
yeah,
constantly innovating and improving processes that people are like, no, that's the standard. That's what we keep. Oh yeah, well, we're gonna blow that out of the water and we're gonna improve it. And that's that constant improvement. Like we land rockets, we land for stages. Like there's a couple of us were like, that in 2014. Wait, what? We're landing what? Like, is that even possible? It will be. And he had the vision for it and the right people in place, and we all executed it. And now it's like we're landing. I think we landed 70 so far. Like that's insane. Our second closest person would be like Blue Origin. They've landed two, but didn't even have a payload or even go to low Earth orbit. It's
yeah,
like that's crazy, and that's Jeff Bezos's money. And
yeah.
then Elon's just making it happen left and right. So it's pretty awesome. It's epic to work for him.
How close are we to America sending back, going back into space, with manned, flights?
We're already doing it. So
Well,
we
I
just
mean,
did
yeah,
the crewed mission, and so
yeah,
yeah, we're approved. We got Bob and Doug up to the International Space Station. Everything went perfect. They did their tour on low Earth orbit and came back. So that, I mean, that was just a couple months ago, and that was
correct,
just
yeah,
epic. I mean, we're all super just like, all right, here we go. This is this is for all the money right now. All everything's kind of just tense about the situation. Launching people for the first time since
yeah.
like what was it, Discovery? Yeah. So
20
that
was it
that's crazy.
2014,
And then
2015? Yeah,
it was something like 10, 15 years ago. But
yeah,
so on, and the continuing the crewed missions are awesome. Like so, yeah, that's it's all rolling.
Yeah. And it's funny that you say, you know, you're gonna have a hand in stuff that's, gonna be at the Smithsonian and stuff like that. I live 10 miles away from, one of the Smithsonian Air and Space Museums, and I live about an hour away from the other one. And you know, those two are like my favorite places to go just to chill. I mean, the
Oh
one in
yeah.
Dulles, the one in Dulles, and then the one in obviously and one in DC. I prefer the one in Dulles because they have more actual spacecraft and actual aircraft. I mean, they actually have a space shuttle. I think it is the Discovery. Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I think that one. Well, it was in LA. I remember watching it land over here. I think 2012.
yeah,
But yeah, they might have moved it. It would make sense to be in the Aerospace Smithsonian.
yeah. I mean, it is a sight to see. I mean, and to have a hand in any of that, is just is a huge step on a huge pat on the back, a huge mantle on your a huge trophy on your mantle. It's just one of those things that just you gotta wake up every morning and just be like, damn. But
Oh
then on
yeah,
top
yeah.
of
It
that,
doesn't.
yeah, I mean, but then on
Yeah,
top
it
of that,
doesn't
you're
get old.
starting your own business. You're starting your own business. Even with the wind power and stuff like that, you're innovating to save the planet and stuff like that. It's just the things that you're doing is just astonishing, bro.
It's been a crazy ride. I mean, it all started off with doing carbon fiber, and then from there, it just, oh, what do you make out of it? It's literally everything.
Yeah. So, you kind of touched on, the
There we
fashion
go.
stuff. Yeah. So you kind of touched on the fashion stuff a little
Yep.
bit. Where you were doing stuff for Yamaha and then just kind of started doing it. So what spurred the whole line?
Okay. Let's see. The whole fashion line.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've always had a passion to help people, and I love making things. And it doesn't matter if it's motorcycle part, car part, carbon fiber hoods, or high-end fashion jackets with like French silk and silver zippers. I just want to help people, and so a way to do that is I donate. So I started Seraph. The name is It's the highest order of angel and represents light. So a part of that
Okay.
is like, well, I'm going to donate 20% of the net profit to charity. So LA Mission, Wounded Warrior, Water.org, and Destiny Rescue are like my top ones. But then I'm also down, like if there's a worthy cause, I'll also donate to that too. So then instead of just being out there and just another like spokesperson or mouth to feed, trying to raise awareness of those charities, I figured, why don't I just make money and give it to them? It's that whole, do you want to give a fish for a man or teach him how to fish? It's like it's more profitable to fish than to have to be hand to mouth to giving someone a fish. So that's where my drive comes from. Is in the end, I want people, and I love express through creativity, if it's a fashion or manufacturing. And then like I have a hard time. I'm just doing the basics. People are like, oh, why don't you manufacture in China? It's cheaper. I'm like, well, I don't want cheaper. I want the quality. And I live in
Yeah.
America, so I want to support small business in America. So everything's handmade production in LA, if not the US. And then it's like, well, how are you going to differentiate yourself? And for me, it was, well, I'm do ultra luxury. So I started, okay, where's the best materials coming from? And I found that French silk from a company, FCN, is the best silk. And so I started ordering that. And every other like luxury manufacturer uses that silk. So that was kind of cool, like hearing all the way up there boutique or luxury designers were using it. So I started using the French silk, and then getting the best manufacturers to put it all together. And then down here in the Diamond District off Hill Street is where I make the silver zippers. And with the custom ones, I add diamonds like a D to F color with VVS quality around the zippers. So yeah, it's been wild. And then just try and push them. So I've been selling through celebrities, and then trying to work through high-end boutiques now. but it's like one of those things where I love making things. I don't love selling things. So positioning
Yeah.
into that as well.
So what was the so you kind of said it yourself. I mean, you said it to where 20% of all your stuff goes to charity. So what was the idea behind the actual
Yeah.
Seraph name?
Okay. So yeah, the Seraph name, I was looking for something that was kind of significant. And I didn't really want to name the company after me. I thought that's a little too pretentious, and I wanted the brand to have its own leg to stand on. So when I make it large enough to where I can hire fashion designers and everybody else, and it can be a nice luxury fashion house, it's not strictly Casey Douglas Wright. So I wanted to have a name that could stand alone, and then also that was timeless. Like, you look at some of the names and they describe what the trend or the fad is, but if you get caught up in that, then you're just a season. So I wanted to make sure that the brand could stand alone through any trend or fad. So I didn't name it after anything that was happening or any like extreme sport. I just wanted something timeless. So Seraph, it's like the one of the highest order angels, represents light. Let's see, and then I wanted something to just have the sound that it was going to be universal. So that's kind of where it came from, and I wanted one word, so Seraph it is.
That's pretty unique. Because we don't hear the word Seraph very often. Even most of the time you just hear the word angel or stuff like that. But when I first saw that, I was like, because I'm a big fantasy and supernatural type guy. So I knew right away
Okay,
what
cool.
it meant, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Because when I
It's also like
see
the
the
guardian
word,
of the city.
correct, yeah. When I see the word or hear the word, seraph, it's like, I think of the actual TV show Supernatural, the, types of angels you can't see in their true form, otherwise you burn your eyes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what I think. But it's like, it was interesting when I, did a little bit of research on the company, because, with that name and then, the charity work that you do, I just find that
Yep.
really, really inspiring.
Oh, thank you, man. Like, and a part of it too is, since I came from nothing, and I get this camera on back, but yeah. So since I came from nothing, and a part of that is most fashion designers want you to think that they're making everything, and the reality is there's a huge team involved, and that
Yeah.
team deserves to have credit. So while I'm shooting the show, I'm interviewing and talking about all my manufacturers. So at the end of the credits, you know exactly who's making what, and I'll give you their numbers, emails, and contacts. So if there's a designer out there, or even just someone who wants to create their own stuff, they'll have the opportunity to do it, versus saying, oh, I'm Seraph, I make everything's in house. It's like, nah, like, I'm chilling at one of my vendors places because I had them do embroidery in my Italian leather alligator embossed hats. Let's see.
Mhm.
So it's the trucker hat in the back, and then I have a patent pending on the sweatband, and then that's my reoccurring pattern that I got a trademark on. But yeah, so this is like one of their studios, and I like to rep. I like to keep it transparent so people understand. Yeah, I'm the face and the name behind Seraph, but it's a big team that makes it happen. And being able to involve everybody that's local, it's like, that's the personal touch, and that's what I think helps carry the name too. Is like that whole like purity aspect, right?
Mhm. Absolutely. So you mentioned the TV show. What exactly is the basis of the TV show?
Okay. So right now the name is Fame and Fashions, and it's my journey through the fashion luxury industry from the bottom up. So we interview my manufacturers, we interview vendors, we interview boutiques, we interview celebrities. I've got to do a custom jackets for celebrities, and that also helps for my branding. So like one of them, we're shooting with a celebrity, and then it's the process of making that custom jacket. So I'm doing this crazy one where it's French silk, but it's a cheetah pattern, and then I'm putting black Swarovski crystals on it, and it's going to be like I think it's going to be about $5,000 to $10,000 like retail on it.
Wow.
So the whole journey of that, most people have no like, you know, no grounds for it or no basis. They're like, wait, what? You're doing, how much is that? Like if you go on Seraph Fashion Design on Instagram, I don't have a crazy big following. I just make a lot of crazy expensive stuff. And so like one of the jackets I got, it's 55,000 Swarovski crystals, all hand placed in woodland camo. So, and then it's got the silver zippers with diamonds around the zippers. And it's like, that's a like 40, or was that a $25,000 jacket.
Wow.
So yeah. So that was my
insane.
showpiece. That's like saying like, this is it. So the show goes, you know, it's like the fun and games. Like I love breakdancing, DJing, and spearfishing, lobster diving. So I got kind of that. And then like we had talked about working in the aerospace industry and then doing the fashion. And I just love hearing people's stories too. Like I'm like you, I love to hear how people got to where they're at, you know, learn their lessons for success and how to apply it to other people, and then where they want to go. So same kind of concept of interviewing the celebrities. How'd you get to where you're at? Where are you going? And where you see yourself in the future. And some of their stories are pretty impressive and not widely known. So I kind of want to like touch on that. And then also using the celebrities' awareness to talk about worthy charities. So, you know, you look on Instagram and you'll see A-lister with 8 to 200 million followers. And then you look at like LA Mission and they're like 20,000 people. It's like, they're making the impact. They're the ones pulling people off the street, getting them off drugs, giving them a purpose, transitioning them into housing. It's like, that story is amazing. So we're also going to do, when LA Mission's clear, I'm going to bring my camera crew clear from COVID. They got like some kind of thing that they're quarantined, but they'll be hopefully done soon. And then we'll do the interview and the day in the life of, or the volunteer side of the LA Mission. So it's making fashion products, talking about people in the industry, interviewing people who have done it and how they became successful and where they're going, and then supplying or delivering these crazy jackets, crazy tuxedos or dresses. I'll do anything for the celebrity that wants it, for if they're on tour or got a special event, and then asking them what charity they support and then highlighting it, and then giving all that connection and information to the audience so they can follow through and they feel a little bit more safe and trusting on that charity. So that's the premise, and we'll go from there and see if we get picked up by a network and keep it rolling.
Dude, that is super cool. You know, I talked to another fashion designer 2-3 weeks ago by the name of Michael Kaluva. He runs Tumblr and Tipsy. Former Olympic figure skater, you know, just a really cool guy. And he suffers from rheumatoid arthritis, and a lot of his sales and giving back that he does, you know, towards, you know, rheumatoid arthritis research and charities and stuff like that. And to see what you're doing and what he's doing, it sheds a whole new light on an industry that, you know, doesn't really have a reputation for the most giving back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and it's really, really cool to highlight, you know, someone like you that's doing that kind of stuff, because, you know, giving back is a huge piece of what I do, you know, on this show. Because, I mean, my show is mental health based, you know, at times.
That's awesome.
because, you know, I suffer from bipolar disorder and stuff like that. And I like hearing real stories. You know, I don't like, you know, following what a PR rep tells me I can and can't say, or, you know, only follow this exact script. You know, I don't do that. And because I like to, you know, fly by the seat of my pants. You know, I do, as you know, I do a little research about everybody, but I leave a lot of it open to conversation too. Because again, I want to hear the realness of the person. You know, pull back the curtain a little bit and, you know, find out, you know, who they really are. And, you know, the stuff that you're doing, dude, is just
Yeah.
it's it's just phenomenal. I mean, you're giving back in so many different ways. I mean, with the charity work, and then your innovations with SpaceX and stuff like that. That's just you're just an overall amazing dude, and it's really 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 cool. Of what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's funny. When you're in it, you're just kind of moving along. You're just trying to make things happen. It's one of those times when you have someone actually talk to you and you start reflecting on it, you're like, oh crap, like I did do some stuff. Like, oh, this is crazy. But then to not let it get to your head, we're still just, at the end of the day, we're still people. We're born, we live, and we'll die. So making sure that we're loving everybody and taking care of everybody. And when people aren't okay, that we're finding solutions and not just brushing it under the carpet. So, and I got two brothers who keep me humble. They would never let me be prideful or anything. They're really good at cutting me back down to normal.
Brothers will do that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
my brother, is a diver, a master instructor diver, down in the Keys, and so he just
sick.
literally he dives every day and is an instructor, teaches and stuff like that, and just does it for pleasure too. So he does that, and I do this, and he's constantly calling me all the time. I don't care how many, how famous you are. You need to stop. He keeps me in check too, so I hear you on that. It's funny.
Family's good.
They are. They keep me humble. Especially like my dad. I'll call my dad and I'm like, Dad, you'll never guess what I had on the show. He's like, oh, that's cool. It's like, thanks, Dad.
Yeah. Like, wow. Or if they go, who is that?
Yeah.
What movie were they on?
Exactly.
Never mind.
Yeah, I think of like, next Thursday will be 100 episodes. So I think, I've interviewed 100 celebrities at that point. And the only one like my dad knows was the guitarist for the Steve Miller band that I talked to last week. And he was like, oh, that's really cool. but everything else, he just like, whatever.
Out of 100. That's awesome.
Thanks, Dad. Make me feel real special there.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the things that, other than the TV show, are you working on going forward here?
Let's see. So I got big visions. I'll give you that. I definitely want to do a hybrid or electric car company. I've always had a passion for automotive since I was a kid. Street racing Hondas, fixing up engines. And then my brothers were into the US, so domestic, and had like Camaros and Malibus. And I love classic cars too. Definitely want to get my hands on a 69 Camaro. But so cars are a passion, motorcycles are a passion. I want to do my own automotive company, and just kind of figure out my own way to make it unique and different that's helping people. And if that has to do with the transportation system and making that a little easier for everyone, then I want to be a part of it. I got a couple airplane designs I want to do, and then I want to make big movies about people's lives, because I think facts are crazier than fiction. Like when you listen to some people's lives and how they even got through it, and then you're talking to them like, oh my gosh, how'd you even survive, much as like hold down a regular job after you went through that. Like those stories I really want to talk about and just have more of that positive vibe coming off of it. We see too much on TV or movies where they're talking, or they're, the whole movie ends and then everybody walks out like, well, that sucks. It's all depressing and negative. It's like, life is good, man. We're happy to be, we should be happy to be alive. Being positive helps. So I want to highlight that. So that's my big plan.
So it's actually funny that you mentioned that, because I'm actually in the process of developing a TV show along those same lines. So I think you and I need to hook up on that, because you and I have very similar visions on that. Because we'll talk more offline. I'll send you a message.
Cool, brother. I'm totally doing it.
Yeah. But There's something else I was going to ask you. I can't remember what I was going to do now. You threw me off with that, that really. Oh, I remember now. So you want to start your own car company and compete with your boss?
Well, he's got open source patents, so I'm totally cool with
That's true.
coattailing that.
that is very true. He does, that's another thing. I completely forgot about that. That is really, really cool that he does that.
Right?
That's just unreal to me.
Well, he shook the whole thing up by selling direct. Everybody else had to go through dealers.
Yeah.
And then he's
That's
like,
crazy.
nah. And then he had to lobby for it and fight against the big car companies to make it happen. It's like, dude put in massive work.
He did.
He's the one laying the foundation for all this.
He really is. And I'm a car guy too, but I'm a Mustang guy. You want a 69 Camaro, I want a 67 Mustang.
Ooh, 67 Mustangs. Oh, that's still sweet, man.
Oh my God. I mean, especially the 67 Shelby. Oh my God, that's Eleanor right there from Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Gone in 60 Seconds. Yep.
Oh my God, Eleanor.
Tat.
That car. I mean, I've seen a few of them. Like the other day, I was watching Pawn Stars, and he almost bought one.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, that thing is so beautiful. That's my dream car, but I just want to get my hands on it.
West Coast has them all, man. I see them on PCH.
You there?
Yeah, no, that.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Can you hear me? Yeah, the 67 Mustang. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sexy.
I mean, I had a 2005 GT, and I just loved it. And now my goal is to get my hands on another GT 350 or GT 500, used or I don't new or whatever. But those things are expensive as all hell. But damn it, I want one so bad.
I know. That's why I find myself. It's like I got a bunch of money to like invest in my businesses because that's where I'm at, and I'm like, ooh, or I could get the Camaro right now. I'm like, no, make the business, make the money, make the business, or the Camaro. I'm like, no, Camaro later.
My wife is the same way. She's like, no, we got too many other things going on. You're not, no. And I'm like, please.
I know.
I
look at what I pay for.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I look at what I pay for silk, and I'm like, all right, well, that could have been half the car.
Yeah, my 2005, was just loud as all hell with that exhaust system. And, the Mustangs of today, they have the adjustable exhaust sound to where you can completely turn it off, which I find weird as hell, but, technology. But, my wife's like, yeah, if you, I think it's 2014 or 2015, they started putting that in there. She goes, you can't go any older than that because you got to make sure you can turn that exhaust off because that's too loud.
Oh, like, no, but it's a classic.
Exactly. It doesn't, come on. Especially
you
with
just got to rig it up.
Yeah.
You get the, what is it? It's like a dump valve that goes off straight from the headers instead of running through the, like the manifold and then the, I think it's straight out of the down piping. Yeah, so you can do that for when you're racing and then let it go through some crappy, quiet exhaust after that.
Yeah. But if it's not, making noise all the time, what's the point?
Exactly.
You
smell that 110 octane.
Yeah, my wife, ever since I've said that, that's what I want to get. Every time we're, downtown, or anywhere else, and we see, a Mustang go by that's really loud, or any car that's really loud, she goes, "You want to be them? You want to be them? The small penis people."
And you're like, for that? Yes, please.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, I already locked you down, so it doesn't matter at this point.
Exactly. See, what does it matter? People can stereotype what you want.
I'll take your insults. You can say whatever you want to say about my penis as long as I got the car.
Exactly. Holy crap. Oh, thank you for that. I needed that laugh. Oh,
you're good.
That's funny as hell. But yeah, I mean, Dude, you fascinate me, man. You really do. You no,
Thanks, man.
you're an inspirational person. You really are. I mean, because everything you do, it seems like it's all about just giving back. You know, because you came from nothing, and then you're building yourself up, but you want to do nothing but give back, and that's just really really cool of you, man. It really is.
Dude, thanks, brother. Yeah, it's the mission.
And
Not
that's
done
what it's all
till,
about.
We start seeing things. Yeah. I want to see the big stuff in the world change, Like everybody's all caught up on politics, and that's all right. You can have your opinions, but for me, I just want to help people. So if I can get both sides to put $1 towards it, then we're in the right direction.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm sick and tired of talking about politics. It's getting old. I want to have fun and joke and be funny. That's what I want to do.
Exactly.
I didn't start a show like this. I didn't start a show like this to talk about politics every day. That's what other people are for.
Yep. Yeah. They got their shows.
Exactly. But dude, like I said, you are a badass, and that is just some cool stuff that you're working on. And I do have one more question here. Are you planning on, continually doing both, science and fashion the rest of your life, or you want to focus on one or the other?
All right. Well, I've heard two versions of like what you can do. I've heard someone say, "Well, look at those people who, the Zuckerberg who wears the one outfit every day, and that's what he does so he can focus on his craft." Or the Steve Jobs who, does the same thing so they can focus on their craft. I'm like, nah. For me, it's like I said, I'm ambidextrous. I need both. I need that dual dichotomy in order to stay sane. I'll go insane if I go either side too much. Like I want to be able to be, and I think that's what makes me unique in my own way, is being able to be creative and strategic, and that right brain, left brain, just as long as both are going Mach 10 in the same direction, we're doing good. But if I start just doing one or the other, I think I'll lose some of the stuff that makes me dangerous, that makes me more creative, is being able to cross over that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I got a patent pending on the sweatband for my hats, and that only came about because, like I say, for like inventions, frustration leads to invention. I got sick of the twill fiber for hats on the sweatband, like grinding into my head like 120 grit sandpaper. So then I'm like, I'm just gonna make something, and I found enough people to make it. We bent some metal, and I created the tooling for it, and then I was like, oh, this is dope. I'm gonna patent it. And so, I'm in the last stages of doing that. So I don't think I would have that ability if I only did fashion, because I'd be looking at what's currently available versus utilizing all the other strategies and materials from the dynamic background. So I'm going to be going Mach 10 in a single direction with the fashion, the movies, and then making the car company. If I can get the motorcycles and the airplane engine going too, great. But it's also about having good teams, and that's what I got to develop at SpaceX and be a part of. And so having a win-win situation with the team and with vendors, manufacturers, and sales, that's how you keep a good group. So I'm going to make sure that all those are going. And if I can just be the creative side of it, if I can't just, touch everything, and I'm definitely not a micromanager. You can ask any of my guys. Like, I want to make sure that they're good. I think was it Patton said something, says, don't tell people what to do, tell them the objective, and you'll be surprised by the results.
That's an inspirational quote right there, man. Coming from an inspirational person, bro. And I appreciate you, dude. I've enjoyed the last hour talking with you. Again, you are
awesome.
Dude, you are a badass, bro. You guys can check him out on Instagram at Casey Douglas Wright on Instagram, and then seraphdesign.com.
And
Casey,
Seraph
bro.
Fashion Design. Yeah, Seraph Fashion Design on Instagram as well.
Gotcha. But, dude, take care of yourself. Good luck with everything else in the future. But I will definitely be reaching out to you about that other thing.
Dude, I'm stoked. Hit me up. This was so much fun. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, bro. You have a wonderful rest of your night, and we'll talk again soon.
Sounds good, brother.
All right, man. Bye-bye. All right. So that was Casey Wright of Seraph Design and SpaceX. What a cool guy. What a cool guy. All right. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with Darius Slaughter. Guys, ever wonder how I get this manly beard looking so good? It's all because of Viking Revolution. And at Viking Revolution, not only can you get some great beard balms, but you can also get some great beard oils, as well as some awesome quick shower pads, which helps prevent you stanking up after the gym. Also, these great wet wipes, which help prevent, stanky after going doo-doo. And also some pomades and some other great products, all at Viking Revolution. So do yourself a favor, go to dcproductions.com/sponsors, click on the banner, and get yourself some of these great products. Viking Revolution. Join the revolution. All right, and we're back. All right, so continuing on this amazing Tuesday with more inspirational people. This is what I love about what I do. Inspirational people doing inspirational things. So my next guest is an author. Wrote the book Hostile and Urban Tragedy. Best-selling book on Amazon, and has started a campaign on a challenge, on Facebook and Instagram, all about illiteracy. Just amazing stuff. So, without further ado, please welcome to the show, Mr. Darius Slaughter. Hi, bud.
Hey.
What's going on?
What's going on, boss man?
How you doing?
Man, I'm always good.
Aren't we all? That's how we're supposed to be.
Yes, sir.
So what's going on with you?
Man, another day in paradise down here in Texas, playing the flood game. You know how it goes, tropical storm, hurricane season. Trying to get messages out and link with people and teach people that, you can do whatever you want to do pretty much. Stop making excuses all the time. Those bad habits.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, and y'all have been beaten up this year by hurricanes and tropical depressions and storms and stuff like that this year too.
It hasn't really been as bad as it's been in the past, but it's normal. We're used to it. It's just the things. That time of year, hurricane season is here. And really a lot of it missed us. The last two turned up and went into Louisiana and over into Mississippi. So we got lucky. It's just a lot of rain here. It's not that bad. Nothing's blowing around. After the big hurricane, you saw like ships sitting on the wrong side of the ship channel. Had yachts sitting on the side of the freeway. Yeah. So we rode around. I ride motorcycles. We went riding during curfew, and it was crazy the stuff you saw that was moved around. You wouldn't think that water or wind could move something that big.
Yeah. I moved to Virginia 4 years ago. I'm from Florida, so I'm used to that kind of stuff as well. And actually, to be totally honest with you, the worst I ever felt it was 2 years ago, down when I can't remember what name the hurricane was, down in the Carolinas, that just got spanked. And I went down there and helped with the recovery of that with the company I was working for, and I saw some stuff I never want to see again, man. I mean, that stuff is just scary.
Mother Nature has a way. You gotta excuse Jinx. She's a little needy sometimes.
Man, she's a good dog.
The baby says she wants to interview now. So, Mother Nature has a way of reminding us that no matter how much mechanical stuff we have or how much other things that we do and bombs and guns and all that, Mother Nature comes through and puts everybody in their place periodically to remind them. The man upstairs said, go ahead and reach out and touch them one time. And all that's dead. There's people jet skiing around the city right now in neighborhoods and in apartment complexes. And they're riding wave runners through apartment complexes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's Texas. There's a guy going by on a horse. There's a horse, a 4x4, a wave runner, and somebody might be jet skiing on the back of a crocodile. You never know what you're going to see down here. Anything's possible.
I've spent some time in Austin, so I've seen some stuff. Yeah.
The motto there is keep Austin weird.
City
motto is keep Austin weird and drunk. You cannot get drunk on $20 anywhere else in the country.
Nope.
You go down 6th Street, everything's $3, $4.
Yep. And get some good barbecue in the process.
Yeah, Mo, we're gonna feed you in Texas, buddy. Everything's bigger. You're gonna
Oh
gain.
my God. You know, I have never eaten better than when I was in Texas.
No, sir. This is what we do down here.
I had the best sausage of my life, the best chicken of my life down there. Just amazing. The brisket.
Ribs, brisket, the whole nine.
Oh man. Now
When
you
I
make me
travel,
hungry.
I have to make sure to stay away from barbecue places because I'm always disappointed.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Tennessee is pretty good. St. Louis is pretty good. But I'm a Texas boy. I eat big. I'm a light 300 pounds on a good day.
Yeah. When I was in South Carolina. Was it South Carolina, North Carolina? I can't remember where I was at. Helping whatever I was doing with the restoration. I found this little hole in the wall barbecue place, and they fed you like,
Oh yeah.
and it was one of those places where you walk up to it, it's just a hole in the wall little building, and it's wrapped around, and by the time you get to the counter you don't know what you want, and they kick you out of the line.
Yeah.
That type of
Those
place.
are the best ones.
Those are the best ones.
Best ones.
Yep.
There's a Netflix series right now. They got a place about 2 hours out of Houston, and the cook is like 80 years old or something, a lady. So we ride motorcycles. So I called my guys yesterday. I said, hey, man, we're going to ride out here and eat barbecue. And I just want to meet the lady. Like, they did the special on the lady that do all these different barbecue people. And they're showing this lady, she's like 80-something years old. She gets up at 2 in the morning every Saturday and cooks barbecue.
That's crazy, man.
Yep.
Up here in Northern Virginia, we ain't got no good barbecue. We got a couple of good places, but it's hard to find.
Yeah.
I miss good barbecue.
I had to air freight you some barbecue overnight.
I will send you my address.
Overnight to a brisket. Some brisket
Oh.
and some sausage, man.
You will be my best friend.
Boy. Yeah, we're become famous. We like to eat around here. Eat,
Yes, you
drink,
do.
Smoke, all that.
See, I just ate dinner and now I'm hungry again. Damn it.
Oh, man, I eat 6 times a day. Dinner's every 3 hours. You got breakfast, second breakfast, lunch, second lunch, dinner, last dinner, and it might be a snack after that if I'm out running around the city.
Exactly.
That drunk one doesn't count.
No, it does not count. Nope.
No, doesn't count. That's
Yeah,
why
not
they
that.
do Whataburger.
Or Taco Bell.
Whataburger, Taco Bell, Jack
Yep.
Whatever's famous. Waffle House. Hey,
Oh, yeah.
Waffle House is a 5-star restaurant at 4 in the morning. Necessary. More sweet tea, please.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm serious.
That's great,
Only
man.
necessary.
So now that I'm starving again, let's talk about you, man. So we'll get to the challenge here in a little bit, but let's talk about your book. I haven't read it yet, but I've read snippets of it, and I've read all the different press releases about it and stuff like that. But for people who don't know, talk about your book and what it's about.
Hostel is pretty much a look at the other side of life, the dark side. A lot of people look at TV and see people, they're in the street life or selling drugs or whatever, and they say, "Why would you do that?" Or, I would never do that. Or, "Why would you risk your life?" So they don't really understand that side. Hostel is an intelligent look at it. It's not a knock or glorification. So, like, if you listen to music and the rappers and all that, and they're like, "Oh, I got a Bentley and I do this and I pulled the trigger and I did that," it's glorified. They don't talk about the guy who's never going to see his kid again until she's like grown with kids graduating from college. They don't talk about the guy that's going away for 30 years. They don't talk about the young lady, who has to give up her kids because she was doing whatever for somebody and got 20 years and she's not going to see her daughters or her sons, except through glass for the next 15 years or 10 years. They don't talk about the lost side. So it's not a glorification. It's not a knock. It's about my personal experience. It's about my decisions, what motivated those decisions, and then the consequences and repercussions of those decisions. So it's the good side and the bad side all rolled into one, but it's an intelligent look at it. I've met some of the smartest people I've ever met were in the underworld on the wrong side of the law. It's just business to them. It's kind of like you look at Trump or whoever, and you're looking at taxes and who pays taxes and who doesn't, and you got people making billions of dollars, and it was just business. But the dark side of that is there's consequences and repercussions on that side of the law that take effect and mold your lives and they change you. And people don't understand it. And the ultimate goal is to let my mistakes be their mistakes. I've been blessed to always come back out on top. Like right now, I work corporate I have a corporate job, so I went from convict to corporate. You know, a lot of people that have my record can't even get decent jobs. I still have trouble finding a house. You know, I put my name on a rental application, and everybody starts to look around. So even to this day, those exes follow me, and a lot of people don't understand, especially these youngsters and these kids listening to these songs and watching videos. They don't understand the weight and the pressure they're going to put on themselves throughout life by doing what they're doing.
Yeah. That is a hard truth. So you mentioned your past. Why don't you enlighten everybody a little bit, therefore they know where you're coming from?
Many years, I say 7+. I existed on the wrong side of the law, kind of in the, I wouldn't say fairy tale lifestyle, but the lifestyle that a lot of people talk about. A lot of money, a lot of beautiful women, a lot of high-end cars, a lot of plane trips. You know, the people that people see on TV, people that people talk about all the time and say, "Oh man, look at this." You know, the people when you pull up to the club and everybody moves, and you live it your way, you get it your way. Now, coming from where I come from, my background, you know, I'm originally from the Midwest, transplanted in Texas. You know, I'd say I wouldn't say lower middle class, but definitely here she goes again. You know, but definitely look at this. You see this? You got a camera hog over here. Definitely didn't have the choices that were afforded. A lot of people didn't have the ability to move around, and you know, the long vacations and a lot of stuff that you saw on TV. So when I did come into money, it wasn't so much that I was trying to show out. It was just I was afforded choices now for myself, for my brother, for my sister, you know, for my other little brother, for us to be able to go to the restaurants and go to places that we weren't allowed to go before or weren't able to go before. So now I can do whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it. So in the process, you know, you go through a mental transformation. In the beginning, it's like, whoa, wow, oh. Then you kind of get used to it. And then you get caught up in the current because the money starts to dictate how you live and how you move. So now you're at odds with everybody. You can't trust anybody. You can't trust the people that you're around because everybody's trying to get you. The police are trying to get you. The people around you are trying to get you. You can't trust the women that you sleep with or move around you because they're trying to set you up. So in the end, your blessing becomes your curse because you have all the money, but now you're paranoid.
Yeah.
You have to live in this constant state of readiness that somebody's going to do something and there's everything. Anything you go through life, you start to lose people. People start getting locked up. You know, this is my man, this is my guy, but every day, you know, it's my partner. You know, we always around. I trust this dude with my life. My girlfriend's in the house. He has a key. And all of a sudden he goes to court and he's gone. He's got 10. He's gone. And, you know, Texas has the biggest prison system in the world per capita.
Yeah.
We have more prisons in Texas than most countries.
Yep.
So you get locked down here in a heartbeat. And they're giving out decades, like they're giving away free money. Hey, here's 10 years, bye. See you soon. Here's 20, see you soon. Have a good life, bye. So a lot of people don't understand that in Texas. And then once you get the X, you can't get rid of it. It's on your back. So it goes, you know, to the point where I came in the game, and in this last round, I was working 2 jobs, trying to do it right, quote unquote. You know, it kicks off. You know, I had issues with my old man. I was an in-house bastard, pretty much, excuse my language. He had a new wife and a new daughter and decided that his son was expendable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't fit the mold, so I just kind of pushed to the side. Like, they went to Saltgrass and he gave me $5 to go to Wendy's. Wow. That type thing. Yeah. So, you know, it's just life. And then, you know, coming up, I was a fat kid, you know, so I had a different outlook on everything anyway. You know, all the cute chicks kind of look through you, over you, and around you, unless they need their homework done. And then all of a sudden they found out I was the guy that was behind the guy that was behind the guy that they were running behind as far as money. And then all of a sudden I was popular. But all that showed me was how fake life was. You wouldn't even speak to me yesterday.
Yeah.
Now you want to know where I'm going tonight. Where you going tonight? Are you going to the club today? What? Get away from me. Bye. So, you know, it's the book is an examination of different events throughout my crew. I guess you could probably say the rise and the fall and the real uncut, raw reality of the situation, the emotional side of it, because nobody talks about that. It's just, I got this car, I got this, I got this car, I got these diamonds, I got this grill, I got this money. They don't talk about the emotional side. And at the end of the day, emotion always ties into it somewhere, whether anybody shows it or not.
Yeah. Excuse me. So, what made you turn it all around and get where you're at today?
My little brother made me promise to retire when I made parole. I was gone for 3 years and 10 months, and my brother came to see me, and it was the same old thing. A lot of people, when you do time, you're in the business, you kind of used to it, but we call it the stages. So like the first 6 months, everybody writes and everybody comes to see you, and then the next 6 months, it kind of falls off into who's going to be there and who's not. So after 3 years and 9 months in the penitentiary, it's down to like my mom writing every once in a while, my little brother die hard, in and out all the time, letters all the time, his significant other at the time, and a couple other people. And he came down there, I had made parole, and I had just had a big fight. I was waiting on my parole answer and had an issue, had a huge fight, thought they were going to not let me make parole. They ended up letting me make parole. And my little brother came down there and said, I need something from him. I said, what do you need, man? Anything you want, you can have. You already know. He said, I need you to retire. I was like, huh? What? Yeah, I need you to retire. So that was the end of it. My little brother's my world. That was the end of it. I laid it down. So to work we go. And I had always worked in order to stay grounded, but it was a saving grace because, like I said, you get caught up and start moving so fast, you don't really know what you have. You don't even see it because you're programmed to just get more all the time. You don't really even enjoy what you have half the time. And then when you get locked down and you have to lock your brakes up, you look back like I had all the stuff I like. I had motorcycles, I had dogs, had beautiful girls, had my brother, my family was healthy. I was healthy, like I had it all. The main stuff that makes me happy I was just in the habit of going to get more. Stuck in that rut, tunnel vision, so to speak. So the book is a look at the rough side, and it's very graphic. Some of the losses that I took were unbelievable. And when I was locked up, that book actually was written while I was in county jail. It started in the county. As soon as I signed for my time, I signed for 10 years, and I started to write down the memories because and some of them were just unbelievable. Just like, I can't believe I lived through this. Like, I can't believe this is actually my life. So I would write a chapter, sneak it in a letter, and send it home. And I did that for about 1.5 years. And when I came home, my brother had all the letters in a 3-ring binder. And it was about this thick. And he gave it to him, and he said, what are you going to do with it? And I said, well, so it was probably about 6-7 years before I got back around to it, trying to come home and acclimate to society and make money and get stable, and went through some more nonsense. And then finally I pulled it off the shelf and put it all together, and here we are.
That's awesome, dude. That's such an inspiring story. Too often, people are the opposite, they do their time and then it's like, all right, let's pick off right where I left off. And, they don't see the writing on the wall. And, but, people like you and, others like you, that have gone on to do great, wonderful things. And it just, that's just inspiring as all hell, especially with, now, you're starting a challenge on Instagram and Facebook, the Brains and Beauty Challenge, to help fight illiteracy. It's just, it's about giving back. I was just talking to Casey, about the same thing. That dude came from nothing, works at SpaceX, has his own fashion line, but it's all about giving back, whether it's, the earth or 20% of his profits go to charities. That's just fascinating. And, I'm so glad that, you two were on the same show because it's just about, again, giving back to where you came from and helping people who need it. And that's just awesome to me.
It's this generation, this era has become so self-centered and almost too plugged in because now they allow everybody to tell them how they feel, what they should feel, what they should believe, what they should see. And that's where the literacy comes in, being able to actually research things and find out the truth for yourself and go back into history and look at, where you come from and what happened in the past, because they say that if you don't study the past, you're doomed to repeat yourself. You're doomed to repeat history. And a lot of what's going on is just throwback stuff that's coming back to haunt us right now.
I've said this 5,000 times on this show. If you look back to the 60s, the 50s and 70s and that era right there. Look at the music from the Beatles, Joplin, Hendrix, all these people. Those messages are the exact same stuff that we're trying to convey today. That was 60 years ago, and we're still talking about it.
Yeah.
How messed up is the world that we're still talking about something 60 years later?
Because the world is built on economics, and a lot of people, it's kind of like the farmer game. They have cures to so many diseases, and they pay to bury them because they want to make the money.
Yep.
So society is rigged like sheeple almost. We want to guide you in a certain direction. We want to push you this way and push you that way and tug you that way and kick you that way. And as long as we allow ourselves to be pushed and pulled, then we're never in control.
Yep.
So now you have video games. There's more information on the PS5 coming out right now than there is on Breonna Taylor and the fact that she was murdered in her home.
Yep.
But the hype behind the PS5 coming out right now is splashed all over social media. Well, that's almost all you see. Same thing when Madden comes out. When the NBA comes out, it's the same thing. And now that they're actually, you have to think about the fact that they blackballed a man out of his whole career in football and then turned around and put BLM messages on everybody's jerseys. Now 5 years later.
Yeah.
Society is changing and it's working. But like even with the literacy challenge, when I was locked up, you would be absolutely stunned and appalled at how many people cannot read today. It's something that we take for granted. We expect that people go to school and they learn the ABCs and they learn to write and they learn how to read. We take it for granted. We expect it. But there is a huge proportion of society now that really can't read. They're functionally illiterate. They can sign a mark for their name, which is basically them a symbol. They know that red light means stop, green light means go. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I've handed people magazines to read, and they'll flip through them in 3 or 4 minutes and hand them back. And it took me a while to figure out the reason was that they couldn't read. They were looking at the pictures.
Yeah.
So they would skim through and look at the pictures and hand them back. I've had people that have opened my book that have literally told me at 30 and 40 years old, this is the first book I've read since middle school.
Yeah.
That's astounding to me.
It is. I talked to another author last night who's also a high school English teacher who writes fantasy novels. And, one of the questions I asked her, especially because she's, in the education field as well, with technology these days, whether it be your phone, an iPad or a Kindle or whatever the case might be, books are now more accessible than ever. But people are reading less than ever as well.
Correct. Well, information is more accessible than ever.
Yeah.
To go back to what we just said, when I was young, I'll be 48 in 2 weeks. When I wanted to know something, I had to go all the way to the library. I had to go through the card catalog, go find an encyclopedia, sit down, dig through those, knock the dust off in order to find out anything. Everybody has an iPhone or a high-end Android phone now and can go anywhere. I see little kids walking around with iPads with the little holders on, glued to them. All the information is there, but nobody looks for answers now. And one of the problems, they always ask me, what's going on with the kids? What's wrong? And I said, they don't question anything anymore. They're not taught to make decisions. They're told what to do. We were always taught to ask questions. Why? Explain this to me. Give me a reason why you want me to do A, B, and C. Now they just blindly follow.
Yeah. I wholeheartedly agree with you. I have an 18-year-old. I'll be 40 next year. I have an 18-year-old, and before she moved out and moved back to Florida, one of the things whenever we got into a discussion, watching someone on TV, and she was like, "Hey, what is this?" I'm like, I don't know, Google it. And she's like, if I can't find it on Snapchat or Twitter, I'm not going to look it up. It's like,
exactly.
Really? That's appalling.
Appalling. You have Wikipedia right now that'll tell you almost everything within reason. You have 1 million resources that have been uploaded for you to look through, and it's Snapchat and Instagram. And Snapchat and Instagram in itself is not an evil institution. It's a great way to keep up. It's brought 1 million people together. It helps people, in my opinion, see other people's lives and different ways to live.
Yeah.
It helps to, cross those bounds, kind of like music. I think music is the universal soul of the world. I listen to all kinds of music. I love music, period. I think music bridges the gap between people when words just can't get it done.
I agree. I'm a huge proponent of music. Music is unity, man.
Huge
Huge.
proponent. You're liable to hear anything coming out of my truck. It might be metal, it might be reggae, it might be hip hop, it might be norteño because I'm in Texas. You might anything coming out of my truck. When you see me at the light, you might give me a double take. Like, what is this? It's just what the mood was today.
Yeah, that's what music does. I'm a big metal guy, a big rock guy, and I learned at a young age that music is unifying. The first time I ever went to a festival concert, not so much a concert, but the first time I went to a festival concert, 20,000 people were there, and black, white, Spanish, Asian, Middle Eastern, Catholic, Jewish. I mean, every race, color, creed, everybody was all there to watch these 15 bands just rock out all day long in the hot sun in the middle of Orlando for that one unifying cause. And it is so beautiful when it's done right.
And powerful.
It is.
It's like here in Texas, I used to and still do go to BuzzFest. You get out there and it's got like 3 different stages running, the headliner people sitting in the grass, laying in the grass, eating, chairs, pavilions. It's just crazy to see that many people turned out to see this many different groups. And then trying to scramble to see different bands and groups, And there's major tours all the time. But the music and trying to teach people that at the end of the day, the craziest thing when you get locked up is everybody segregates automatically.
Yeah.
People in the world that are not a prejudice bone in their body out of safety have to segregate. So everybody, white, black, Spanish, and everybody, you have one or two, fall out here and there. And it's crazy that they feel like they have to move that way. And it's out of safety, but it mimics the world to some extent.
It does.
The way they push us. They want everybody to be separate. The stuff going on now is so sad, I'll be 48 in 2 weeks. So I was actually, when I was young, the first black kid in a school. So I was,
really?
Yeah. So, I was born in 72. So that's like 78, 79. That's, 20 years, 15 years after the whole civil rights thing. So it wasn't that long in relative terms.
Yeah.
Since, segregation had really went out. So when you look at it and you start to look at the things now, it's so sad that the powers that be are pushing us back to that stage to have everybody at everybody's throat. It comes to the point where everybody's human. I've been in situations where I've seen more death and destruction, stateside. A lot of people, when they think of that type of stuff, they think, oh, it's overseas. You had to go to Afghanistan. You had to go to Iraq. You had to go to another country to see stuff like that. And it's right here. A lot of these neighborhoods Beirut has nothing on some of the neighborhoods in this country.
Yeah, no.
And that's a sad part, and it's something that we don't address. We'll send $1 billion overseas somewhere to try and fix another country when we have orphans here. We have kids here sleeping in the street. The human trafficking problem is massive.
It is.
It's maddening that these little girls, they're snatching people from gas stations, snatching people straight off the street.
Yeah.
I saw a video last week. They tried to snatch a girl from a cafe with her family.
Yeah. That's crazy. I think I saw that video.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the security guards jumped in, and yeah. Okay, we saw the same video. Yep.
That doesn't happen in Texas. Texas is an open carry state. There's 2 things you're gonna have. There's 3 things you're gonna have in Texas. You're gonna have barbecue, beer, and bullets. And about that order.
Yeah.
And they're dead, and I mean everybody. When they had the little church shooting out here, they had like 9 people in the crowd in the church were all strapped, and it was all old people.
That's
they
crazy.
all drew. None of them ran. Grandma drew, Grandpa drew, Uncle Fred drew down. Everybody stood up. Texas is not the state for dumb things.
No, it's not.
No.
No, it's not.
They still have a lynch law down here for cattle rustlers. They play no games down here.
Do they really?
Yeah. Yep, they don't
Wow.
enforce it, but it's still on the books.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know people still cattle rustle, but apparently they do it with 18-wheelers now. Learn something every day.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, buddy. You can go to downtown Houston and pull out 3 or 4 minutes and somebody ride a horse by you.
Yeah.
And a guy will come right behind him in a Ferrari. Like, only in Texas. You're going to see it all. You're going to see it all. You don't need to be on TV all the time. Stop.
For anyone that says pits are mean dogs, look at that big old baby right there.
Man, I got a couple of them. Spoiled to death. You know, it's like anything else. Is breeding and how you raise them. When it comes to animals, a lot of people don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to breed. They don't know the temperament is genetic. You know, if they're just doing it for the money, and they don't understand genetics, they shouldn't be doing it.
Exactly.
And that's where it always blows back on the dog, kind of like it always tries to blow back on the gun manufacturer. They say, oh, you know, ban guns and ban the gun manufacturers. We're not going to talk about the fact that the dude was a psycho. The dude was a car-carrying psycho. That has nothing to do with the fact that he walked in and shot up a church. No, it was the gun. The gun got up and went and did it. Okay, buddy.
No, and you know, I'm a very down the line, very down the middle, political type person, and I'm all about keep your guns. I don't care if you have a gun, but there's just that one thing that I think, and you just said it yourself. I think there needs to be one more step, especially for the psycho part. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that. There definitely has to be a better way to qualify.
Yeah.
But they have to find a middle of the road way to qualify too. They have
Exactly.
to make sure that no factions or there's no political angles or agendas to the way that they're qualifying.
Yeah.
It has to stay safe. At the end of the day, like one of my buddies says, he's a Marine, and he says, why do I have these rifles? Because America. Period. There's no other explanation to it. He says because America.
That's an answer. That's the right answer too.
It's the right answer.
Exactly. Second Amendment says so do it,
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you on that. I think there needs to be just, and I think the only, in my opinion, the only extra step is for people who are mentally ill. Now they're still going to get, still be able to get a gun if they really wanted one. Yeah, but I think, it's legally, I think there just needs to be one extra little step. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing, America, a lot of people, when they watch these movies, and I talk about it in the book. At one point, I say, a lot of people that are what we call squares, people that, are really law-abiding citizens, pay their taxes, never jaywalked, never ran a red light, that are really like hardcore, oh, I don't like this and that. But then when you watch, back in the day, it was Sopranos, and then it was Sons of Anarchy and all these different crime shows. They make $1 million an episode for a reason. Because a lot of people are fascinated with that side of life.
They are.
A lot of people want to walk in work and slap their boss in the face with a typewriter. Hey, bro, I don't like you. I really want to beat you up and do harm to you. But I have a wife, I have kids, I have a life that I have to maintain. But the fascination, even to this day, with different old school gangsters, Al Capone is still one of the most search engine deals on the planet.
Yep.
People to this day are obsessed with that era. They're obsessed with gangsters. They're obsessed with crime. They're obsessed with the freedom that they represent, to be able to do what you want when you want.
Yeah, that fascinates me because if you look at the thing that I run, podcasting, if you look at one of the biggest genres, it's true crime and murder and mystery and stuff like that, is one of the biggest genres of that. Or go to Netflix. Whenever a true crime documentary or comes out, it's automatically in the top 10 that day because everyone's just going to watch it. When Unsolved Mysteries came out, boom, done. A couple weeks back, maybe a little bit longer, about a month or two back, there was a documentary that came out on the mafias in New York, back in the 80s. Yeah. I watched it the day it came out. It was fascinating.
Yeah, it was like something versus everybody or something. New York versus everybody. Something like
yeah. Yeah. And it was, but that stuff just immediately gains traction.
Like, man is at base still an animal. And we still have animal instincts. People are like, oh, UFC, why is this? And the same with these dogs. Why would you have that dog? It was bred for. Why? But this is the same people that has like the forever ticket to UFC. You know, you don't watch these dudes beat each other to death, but you're upset about my dog because of the history behind my dog. Not that this exact animal did anything.
No, exactly.
You're upset about the breed. I had a lady run off when I had my male Doom. He's in another room. He gets a little loud during podcasts. He really thinks he's supposed to talk. He gets a little rowdy on podcasts. But this lady ran her kids over at a rodeo. First of all, I have a pit bull at a rodeo. I've walked by horses, pigs, hogs, other dogs, and he's right on my hip. You know, perfect gentleman. And this lady ran over her 3-year-old and her 5-year-old because she saw the dog. We were across the hallway. Ran her kids over and screamed. Her husband picked her up by her waist. What's wrong with you? It's a pit bull. He was like, the dog hasn't even looked at you, but you just ran our kids over.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
When we were moving from Florida to here, you know, some of the places that we were looking at moving into, you know, wanted pictures of our dogs to see if they were pit bulls or not, because it's still, you know, on most contracts, you know, no pit bulls, no Dobermans and stuff like that.
Yep.
And none of our dogs are pits. We have 2, but our dog, just the way it was sitting and the shadowing, just kind of gave it that look. Like, it's not. We can give you the you know, the licensing. It's not. Oh, well, it looks too much like one. We can't take that risk. And you know, the sad part about it is one of the, you know, Chihuahuas and Dachshunds in this country,
boy,
you know, do more damage. You know, more dog bites and dog attacks happen than pit bulls and Dobermans.
Yeah, because the little dogs take everything as pain. These dogs, I could DDT this dog. She thinks it's a love tap.
Yeah, my Ridgeback.
Yes.
Yeah, my Ridgeback. You know, we can smack. You know, she'll try to, you know, snap at me, and I'll, you know, smack her in the face a little bit. And we'll roughhouse. She loves it. You can see the big old smile on her face. But then all I have to do is just do this. Just lift my one finger up, and she stops cold in her tracks, and then looks at me. He's like, "Okay, is it time to be pet now? Is it time to be pet? I did good."
Oh my God.
Oh, she loves it.
Man, I went to a sickle cell anemia event. Charity event for sickle cell anemia, and I'm standing outside. It had rained the night before, grass was wet, and the chief of police out here, Acevedo, was on the podium, you know, speaking to the people. So he looks around, he looks at me, he jumps off the podium, he walks through the grass, through the water, and my male's 80 pounds shredded. And he didn't ask, he didn't say a word. He jumps on his knees and started baby talking and petting the dog. And in my mind, I'm like, Lord have mercy, this is the chief of police. And he started playing, and he gave him his stomach, and just in the middle of the grass, early in the morning, in the water, playing with the dog.
I love dogs.
Yep.
Dogs are
amazing. People had the same intent as dogs. If a dog likes you, he likes you. If he hates you, he hates you. It just is what it is. You know, they don't have angles.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they don't. They really don't. And it's just fascinating. You know, again, they're not like people. You know, you can, you know, it's definitely with you know, humans. It's definitely with dogs. It's definitely nature versus nurture. And you know, you can, if you love that dog from the day it's born, that thing is gonna love you back, no matter what.
Even the abuse cases that I've seen abuse cases where, and I've actually taken dogs and help, you know, rehab dogs and help them get back out. And it's crazy that a dog can take so much abuse from a human, and turn right around and still love them.
Yeah.
Turn right around, you know, tail wagging. Hey, you've been abused for God knows how long, and you're right here in somebody's lap, you know, getting rubbed on. You want your belly rubbed. You see the same dog, and your legs like a whole other dog. They bounce back immensely faster than humans do.
Oh my God. Watching some of those videos that I see on, you know, just randomly pop up on, you know, Facebook or, you know, whatever, you know, it's just like, I love watching those, you know.
Me too.
Oh, you know, we went to the ASPCA today, and this dog was, you know, a former fighting dog, you know, hasn't been fed in months, you know, skin and bones, you know, has, you know, all these types of skin diseases, blah, 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 blah. And 6 months later, that thing is part of the family, loving every minute of it. And
fat,
just like,
happy, healthy.
Fat and happy.
Fat, happy, and healthy, spoiled to death.
Yeah. And you know, that goes back to
the front door wide open. That dog's going nowhere. Like that, buddy. I'm standing right here. here. Yeah, because they know.
Yeah, they know where, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish some people had the same intent as dogs. But dogs like to be
sometimes my my Ridgeback, my older dog, my boxer doesn't do this, but my Ridgeback will, sneak out of the fence in the backyard, go around, and just kind of say hi to everybody, and then come back and then sit at the front door and just kind of bark and like, hey, let me back in.
Well, my brother had a boxer. He made like 13 years, and that boy knew how to open doors. He would open doorknobs. Oh, that boy was, and all the other dogs figured out he knew how to do it, so they would just get behind him. He just opened doors and go through the house. What are you doing? How did you get in here?
Yeah, our boxer can open up the sliding glass door.
Yeah, super smart.
Let herself out and then let herself back in, and then if she lets herself back in, she even shuts the door behind her.
Man, you got a good one. He never shut the door behind him. He let all the pups run. Say, man, we gotta go hunt puppies. Let's go. They're all over the yard.
Yeah,
but
she's let the cat out a few times.
It's crazy, people say, why do you have that dog, for a service dog? Why do you have these dogs? And I tell them, they have a reputation like I have one. I'm a large tattooed Negro. The funniest thing to me now is COVID, because I have to wear a mask everywhere. If I would have walked in somewhere with a mask on 8 months ago, I would have got my brains blown out. They would have shot me on sight. Now, they tell me back, no, go back, get your mask.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. The difference that time and situation makes.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I'm a big 260 pound, muscular, big dude with a big ass beard, full tattoos on both sleeves, wearing a mask and a freaking,
I already know.
wearing and a beanie and a mask everywhere I go. And it's like, I would have been shunned anywhere else I went, 6 months ago, but
shot in Texas.
see, that's what I'm saying.
Hold it.
But now it's just like, hey, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing? What's going on, hot dog? What? Wow, really?
Yeah.
I was nervous. I went to the bank. I kept trying to put the mask on. I was like, no, you okay? I'm like, you sure? I don't want any problems. You tell me where to put it, because I see the big sheriff guy over there. He looks a little jumpy.
Yeah.
I want no problems. Like when I go through the airport, I always randomly get stopped and searched. I'm like, come on, bro.
Yeah. And actually something similar happened to me not too long ago. So I think it was about a week ago. I went to the grocery store, and there's always this one lady I always see in there. And 6, 7 months ago, 8 months ago, whatever it was, I was in there just shopping, obviously without a mask at the time, and she just kind of gave me the dirtiest look ever. Last week I went there and I was just there to buy some French bread for we were having stew that night. And I'm standing behind her. I recognized her. I knew exactly who she was, but she didn't recognize me. But she looked at me, my beard hanging out of my mask, t-shirt on, whatever, skinny jeans and my beanie. And she was like, "Do you want to go ahead of me, son?" Like, oh, it's okay.
Wow.
It's like, okay. She even called me son. It was like, oh, okay, interesting.
Hey. Get you a Christmas time.
Yeah, exactly. Where's my gift?
It's crazy with the tattoos, even the different reactions that you get in public, the misnomers that people have, the preconceptions, like we're supposed to be such bad people because we have tattoos. Oh, you're dirty. And a lot of times they don't understand that when we're tired or we're doing something, we don't think about us having tattoos. That's just part of our body.
Yeah.
So they'll be like, I'll come out of the gym, no sleeves on, sleeves cut. I went, you're going to hell. What? Huh? Yes, you're going to hell. The Bible says, I say, well, the Bible also says gluttony is a sin. It looks like you're about 5'4" and about 420. So I'll meet you there.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because when I was about 13, 14 years old, I got my ears pierced. And I had just left Catholic school, and I was trying to fit in public school and stuff like that. So I got my ears pierced. And I went to my grandmother's church in Cocoa Beach. So, old Catholics. And I literally had to walk out because of all the dirty, even from the priest, I was getting dirty talk. Like they said, look at this child. He even called me out in the middle of mass. Look at this child. Wow. He's going to hell because he ruined God's, vessel. And I was like, what the hell?
Where did this come from?
I had to walk out. Yeah.
I hear from my grandma for about 2 years when I would go up north to Indiana, and I would wear like long sleeve shirts. I'd be there. It was always cool when I went home. And she called me one time. I had just got out of the shower. I had a white beater and some jeans on. and stepped in the hallway, and I got clips. She got me. I got hit with everything close. What is this? And then after that, my mom was bad till I got her name on my neck, and then I was good. I had to play dirty fool.
Yeah.
Mom.
I'm originally from the Midwest as well. I'm from the better Midwest and being from Ohio. Better than Indiana, but
don't worry, I'm over there too. My family in Ohio was from like towns like the size of a quarter.
Yeah.
Still from the towns where they don't lock doors.
Exactly.
No grocery store. You got to go to the next town to go to the grocery store, the gas station.
Yeah, my dad was from Lima, Ohio, or Lida, Ohio. Little country town right in the.
My family. I have family all through there. Lima, Van Wert, Paulding, all that. My family is all over there.
See, we could be related.
And we might, because I tell you something, when you go to my family reunion, it looks like a Skittles box exploded.
Mine too.
I'm talking about albinos, everything under the sun at my family reunion. But it's different being from down here and being from up there. The race thing is not up there what it is down south.
No, it's not.
It's really not, and it's weird when I go home sometimes, like to go to the mall or something, and it's just like rainbow babies everywhere.
Yeah,
it's just people. You go to you go to my family reunion, boy. You better have your socks on because you're gonna see some things. I got a little cousin. His hair is like 4 colors and layers, and it's natural. I was like, bro, how is it? Never mind. You're related. We understand.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
I loved it, man. Back when my grandparents were alive, and we would have annual family reunions, I would go up there all the time. And my grandfather's side of the family was Syrian, and his grandparents migrated here from Syria to escape the war at the time, back in the late 1800s. But everybody, then family just started following them. And so there was a big Syrian community up there, founded by my great grandparents. But then again, it knew no bounds. It was beautiful. It really was.
Even now, when I go home to family reunions, it's crazy to just see the different shades, and everybody's just family.
It is.
Nobody sees any kind of color. It's just family.
Yeah.
And, my real grandfather could come sit next to you, and you wouldn't know what he was. I wouldn't let him in the house the first time. Mama, it's a man at the door. I don't know who he is, but you need to get your gun because something's wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know who he is. And I sat on the couch and stared at him for about an hour. I didn't know who he was. Who was this dude? Who was this guy in our house?
So let me ask you this, because this is a good conversation, and I'm loving this conversation. So with what we're talking about, with how things are in the Midwest, where, again, love knows no color, and, everybody doesn't see it, like that. Would you, with your knowledge and the way you see the world today, would you rather it be like that, to where, just it doesn't matter? Or do you want to see it to where it matters, but it doesn't? If you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think that everybody, irregardless of color, needs a knowledge of self and where they come from. An appreciation of culture, so to speak. Because that gives you a grounding. A lot of so-called quote-unquote black people over here don't have that. And I think that is a part where a lot of games and a lot of stuff play in, because everybody is looking for somewhere to fit in. Everybody wants that grounding. So, if you're German, you're grounded. I'm German. I know it's Wiener Schnitzel and this, and this. If I'm Irish, I'm drinking Heineken, I'm drinking Guinness Stout, and I'm drinking Jameson, and this is what it is, because I am Irish. Yeah. And then when you get to us, when we come up, it's where you're black, and it's the slave thing shoved down your throat, and you don't learn about the tribes or anything like that. The only thing in school you learn is slavery. Yeah. When you come up. So unless you're actually of African descent or from the islands, you have a huge disproportionate part of the population that really doesn't have any grounding as far as, tribal or where you come from, or, what part of the world you're from, or what the traditions are. So we only know what we've been taught in the neighborhoods. We only know what's been taught here. I think that is a big strength for you to be able to look back, like in your case, Syrian, for you to be able to look back and say, okay, this is the culture that our family hails from. These are the traditions. We might not honor all of them, but we can look back and read about them, and we can appreciate them for what they are.
Yep.
In today's world, I think, I've actually sat at tables with skinheads and sit at the table with Klansmen and talk to them, even in lockup. I've sat at tables with guys, and just their theories on life, as far as some of them, having pride in what you are and who you are, I have no problems with. The application to where you take it to think that you have to lean on somebody else or hurt somebody else or dominate somebody else, I have an issue with.
I agree with that.
God told me go back to Africa. I'm from Fort Wayne, Indiana, fool. I have never in my life been to Africa.
Yeah.
And I'm a big guy. I like air conditioning, so I am definitely not tropical. Trust me. I'm not trying to move around in that heat.
Yeah.
If I go, it's gonna be a lot of bottled water and a lot of air conditioning and a whole lot of gas. I'm not doing the walking thing. But people don't understand that. It's a misconception that you can't, because you have pride in who you are and where you come from, that there's a problem with other people. But see, that stems from general life. A lot of people still think that because I don't like what you like, I have a problem with you. I might not like the music you like. That doesn't mean I have a problem with you. That doesn't mean I think lesser of you. That just means I don't like it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people will take that as an insult. What do you mean you don't like it, man? Then they want to go into the plea bargain mode. He's the best ever. He's the best guitar player ever. He's the number one. That's cool. I respect the fact that you feel like that, but that's not my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's not my conviction. So, we can agree to disagree and still be cool and go our separate ways. That doesn't make us enemies. But in a lot of people's minds, that'll make somebody an enemy just because they don't agree with what they like or how they feel.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree with you on that. And my philosophy on it goes a little bit deeper. Because after that whole debacle at my grandmother's church and everything I went through in Catholic school, when I got out, my whole goal was to learn real history and understand history about the world. And one of the things that, I learned and, people are just now starting to realize because of all these DNA tests is at one point in time, if you believe in evolution, we all were black at one point in time. We all came from Africa. If you do a DNA test, doesn't matter if it's 23andMe or Ancestry.com or whatever you want to do, there's going to be 1 or 2% of your DNA that comes from African descent.
Yep.
And so it's like, we're all brothers and sisters. We're all, if you want to go the religious route and say, oh, that means we all came from Adam and Eve. Okay, great. We're all brothers and sisters.
Whatever it takes for you to justify.
Exactly. Whatever you want to do. But we're all brothers and sisters. Doesn't matter what color we are, what country we came from. At one point in time, we were all Cro-Magnon man or cavemen or whatever the case might be, coming out of Africa and evolving. And that's how and so it's like, I don't care if we never met you before, but you're my brother, man. That's how I feel about it.
I get the argument a lot, and people say, well, why do you do this? Why do you listen to this music? Why do you read this? Why do you read that? First of all, I read because I like to read. Second of all, I read because it opens up your mind to possibilities, helps you process better. You spoke about, the friends you talk to, the author that writes fantasy. I read everything. People are like, why would you read that? Well, why do I want to read about the hood and people killing each other every day? I've lived that for decades.
Yeah.
That's just boring to me. I can watch that on TV all day long. I read diversity. Do I read it? Yeah, I do read it. I read a lot of things. A lot of stuff. Like I tell people, when I do interviews, they're like, who the books that you listen to? And I say Isaac Asimov, and they all look at me like I'm crazy. Or my favorite part is when they ask me who wrote the book. Well, who wrote your book? I did. Who helped you write the book? Nobody. So you wrote the book by yourself? Yes. It really gets to a point where it's insulting that you have to ask me 4 times who helped me write the book. I know I look like this. I look in the mirror every day. I know I got these tattoos. I sat there and let the guy jab a needle in me. It's okay.
Exactly.
Calm your nerves. I know what I look like. Trust me. It's all me. It's funny. The second book is in editing right now and drops next spring. So going through that, and everything is real life. So the funny part is when people figure out that it's them. Like they'll buy the book or somebody will get the book and be like, hey man, or especially females, I think he's talking about you. Oh, it's hilarious. All the names have changed. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But it's just funny. It's hilarious. And like one of my best friends in the world from the book, he's referred to in the book as Satan, is a white guy. 6'2", forehead, I mean covered. Full body sleeve basically. And he's a nut, but loyal to the core. I mean, go to hell and back for you and do it again. He's a look at excited. So life is funny how people always want to pigeonhole everything. People are not comfortable in anything that they don't understand or anything. They don't want to accept things outside the bounds of their understanding.
Yeah.
So they get upset. It's crazy. Like I ride motorcycles. They say, oh, bikers do this, man. Bikers give more to charity than probably anybody on the planet. They're always front and center somewhere. If it doesn't matter if it's bikers against child abuse, riding kids to school, any kind of charity. Down here they have a thing where they go to the Shriners Hospital. Now, you want to see a grown man cry? They take Easter baskets to the kids in the Shriners Hospital. Galveston, Texas has the #1 pediatric burn center in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see a kid come out basically mummified and wrapped with 2nd and 3rd degree burns, you can be the toughest dude on planet Earth. You're going to shed a tear. When that little kid goes like this, you're going to pick him up, but you're picking him up. I don't care how tough you're supposed to be. You're going to pick that little kid up, and you're going to give him an Easter basket, and you're going to walk him around. And it's just crazy, man, when you see these little kids. But they're still happy. They're still moving. They're still functioning. And it kind of makes you put your own life in perspective. Like, it can't be that bad. People tell me all the time, how you doing? I say, well, I woke up and I'm not locked up, so I'm doing pretty damn good.
Yeah.
On my scale, I'm doing pretty good. You know?
Yeah, I mean, does it get any better than that? I mean, it doesn't. I was for a long time, locked in my own prison, in my own head, because I suffer from some severe mental illness. Thankfully, I've gotten it all fixed and stuff like that, but I feel the same, different, obviously different paths, obviously different lockups, but, the prison in my own head that I was in for 36 years of my life before I got officially diagnosed and started getting, the help I needed and, almost committed suicide twice and stuff like that. When I wake up now, some days it's still hard to get up. Some days it's still rough, but you know what, I don't work a corporate job anymore, thank God. I wake up every morning and I do this. I talk to PR people, I talk to agents, I talk to managers, I talk to authors, I talk to celebrities, I talk to, charitable people, and I get to control everything about my life now. And like everything that I went through to make today possible was worth it.
Yeah, it's a building block phase. I would never trade anything I went through except messing with the snitch. He cost me about 4 good years. A lot of good food and beautiful women I missed during those 4 years. But it really saved me because my crew took a hit out of state and they all did 15s and 20s. I got blessed to take the 4, so blessings come in mysterious ways. It made me pump my brakes. It made me sit down because I was destined to crash at that point. I was moving a mile a minute with no destination and no brakes. You couldn't tell me that anything was going to happen. You couldn't tell me that I wasn't, that person, because that's the lie that you start to buy into at a point. Like, you can't be touched, even though you're seeing people getting touched all around you. Whether they're getting shot, whether they're getting stabbed, whether they're getting knocked and going to prison, and and the worst thing in the world is when you get that call, hey man, go check on my kids, man. My baby mom won't answer the phone. I haven't talked to my kids in 2 months. Go over there and put my kids on the phone. You hear these guys on the phone broke down. Yeah. Like, you see these kids growing, and I know girls that their daddies got locked up when they were like 1 or 2 and came home when they were 16, 17, 18. And they spend their whole life trying to find a man, but they don't know what a man is. Yeah. They never been around one. So the cycle never stops. And then they have kids, and it's the same thing, in, out, around, about. You know, mom and daughter in the clubs working together. So the kids don't have a foundation. And then we wonder what happened to this generation, like who's raising them? The foundation comes from the house. You know, grandma can't raise them because they don't understand them. Grandma's still looking for the rotary phone. 2, 8, 1. Much less the iPhone.
Or the wind up. Operator, get me Carla.
Operator. 1-999-99999. I think I forgot a 9. Yeah, it's crazy. Little kid now at 3, 4 years old will open your iPhone up and start changing all your settings so they can play your video game faster. It's crazy how advanced kids are now.
Yeah, you know, when I have a supercomputer. I have a really good computer, and my computer is like, you know, top of the line, but my phone is still faster. How is that possible? You know, and they don't realize that what they're really holding in their hands. You know, yeah. I mean, my computer, you know, is fantastic. It does, you know, tons of things my phone can't do, but my phone does a ton of things my computer can't do. You know, and faster. You know, if I try to download this, you know, the whole video, the audio downloads real quick and I can post it to my podcast platform, no problem. But if I try to download the whole video, it takes me a good 15 minutes because it's 2 hours long, a lot of, you know, bits, whatever else. If I try to download it with my phone, it takes me 5 minutes less. It's like, how? There's a bigger processor in my computer. But yet these kids, you know, just take it to play Minecraft or Roblox or, you know, Fortnite or whatever the case might be, and they don't utilize the awesomeness that they have. Because again, you know, you said it yourself, you know, I did the same thing. If I wanted to look something up back in the day, you know, you know, it's like Encyclopedia Britannica didn't come out with a new series at that time. I was looking at stuff a year old, you know, look at the Ricard catalog. Now it's like everything is exactly. Now it's like everything's changing every minute. And you know, and they're not utilizing it, and it's
audio books.
Yeah.
You don't have to read anymore. They'll read it to you.
Exactly. But they're not even doing that.
I'm waiting for audiobook to drop right now for high school. ACX, shout out. Hurry the hell up. I'm tired of waiting. Quality control, by the way. And I will be calling you, sir, for podcast tips. We have a podcast, tattoo podcast coming out. This is going to be good.
Dude, I'm all about giving back as well, brother. Anything that you need, I'm all about, bro.
I'm trying to keep these guys to stop getting terrible tattoos.
Yeah.
You got $300 shoes on and an $8 tattoo, bro. We got to sit down and have a conversation.
Yeah. If you have a full sleeve and you didn't spend at least, you know, 4 figures, there's a problem.
Yeah. Unless you're really really good with a tattoo artist. He better be a buddy. We used to have a tattoo artist in our crew, and he actually went around the world tattooing. So I got lucky. We lucked into one of the guys that was one of the best in the world at the time and still is. He's still, you know, his style's changed a lot, but he works by appointment only now and everything else. But I got really lucky that I didn't end up with a whole bunch of chicken scratch and hook work. But yeah, this tattoo podcast is gonna be funny because there's gonna be some people. Hey, buddy, why does your people look like a gerbil with a spike collar on?
Oh, I got to be a part of this, man.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a really good look. One of my buddies actually made a mobile tattoo station out of a bus.
Oh, that's cool.
And he's another guy that, you know, he got locked up. He's a young kid. He got locked up. He came home and he was working at a shop that I was affiliated with at the time. And he told me, I'm going to do a tattoo bus. And I was like, okay, that's cool. You know, kind of blew it off like everybody else. And boy, here we go. 2 years later, he got a whole tattoo bus. And he tattoos a lot of high-end athletes and a lot of stars. And basically just pulls the bus up in the driveway.
That's awesome.
They don't even have to travel.
That's so cool.
And vicariously, I get to go get hit up. Hey, I'm on the way, buddy.
Can you tell him to drive to Virginia?
He should be out that way. I believe he was supposed to be doing all before COVID. I know he was supposed to be Coachella, Warped Tour, and all that. So he's gonna be all over the country. He's actually, I think they just shot the pilot for his TV show. It's called Ink Rose. Just keep a lookout for it. But I'll send him out there because we're definitely gonna be picking your brain about podcasting because it's gonna be
Hell yeah.
We're gonna be terrible at first.
You know what? I was too, but you know what? And you know, my story is a lot different from other people's stories. You know, in 8 months, I've gone from 25 downloads per day to now 30,000 per day, and I'm getting 600,000 per month, and you know, to the point where this is what I do. This is my life, you know, and I'm so thankful for the people that I have connected with, and you know, people like yourself. You know, that just it's amazing, and you know, podcasting is. You know, I was a stand-up comedian as well as working a corporate gig, and I started the show to have an outlet for my comedy when I couldn't, you know, go out and perform. And now it's like, I don't know what else I would do other than this, man. Is that, you know, doesn't matter if it's just funny, you know, tattoo stuff or beer stuff or, you know, talking about barbecue. But you know what? I mean, when I bring on celebrities, you know, minor celebrities or big celebrities, doesn't really matter to me. You know, it's all about, for me, that story. And you and I have been you know, talking about your story and, you know, everybody's story for the last 58 minutes. And I would not have had it any other way, man.
You know, my brother's actually started a podcast. It's serious, but it's not, but it's about real life issues. And I listen to it, and the bad part is I hear sometimes them talking about my life, and I know they're talking about me. I'm like, yeah, I'm an idiot sometimes. But it is grown man stuff. It's called Whiskey Therapy Podcast, and they drink whiskey and talk about man issues.
Yeah.
And I hear pieces of my life, and I know they shooting at me like, yeah, you're an idiot. And I'll text them like, yeah, I heard that. Like, we know you heard it. But hopefully, in writing hostile, people always ask, no, what's the biggest purpose? And I tell them, I want my mistakes to be the mistakes of these kids and these young adults. Let my mistakes be your mistakes. Let the mistakes of my affiliates, comrades, whatever you want to call them, be your mistakes.
Yeah.
Let us take the knock and the hit and ride the X's and the headaches and the heartaches and the heartbreaks and do better than we did. Just do better.
You know, to be totally honest with you, man, that's the whole idea of the show too. And that's why, you know, I very rarely go an episode without mentioning the fact that, you know, I suffer from bipolar and I've had 2 suicide attempts. Because, you know what, I want my issues that I've gone through to let other people know, hey, you know, you're not alone, number one. But then number two, don't do what I did and not ask for help for 36 years. You know, if your wife for 10 years is constantly saying, Derek, there's something wrong with you. You need some help. You know, not like, oh, there's something wrong with you. No, it's like, babe, there's something seriously wrong. You need to get some help. And you ignore that. And then one day you decide to wake up and almost commit suicide on her birthday. You know, that's a problem. You know, and I don't want my mistakes and my issues to ever have to be anybody else's. So, bro, you know, I feel you on that, on a spiritual level, on that in so many ways, bro.
Yeah,
so many ways.
I watch these youngsters, man. Like I said, I work for a corporate job right now. I run clubs. It's a corporate company. They have like 52 clubs, airplanes, energy drinks. But even for me to get a lease right now, you know, I live by myself. You know, I'm single in a flat. I had to find a private owner. Because when they type my name in the computer to go get a lease somewhere, the computer starts to smoke. They start to look around and get nervous. Like, hey, you know, that was 20 years ago. Relax. So I have to ride the heat from 20 years ago everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, even opening businesses and everything, they tell them, oh, you know who he is. Damn, really? I'm not that serious. I'm not El Chapo. I'm not Bin Laden. I'm not any of them. I'm just another cat that had a little bit of money and had a whole lot of fun, you know. Hey, man. Hey, it ain't all bad. As long as you're a man enough or woman enough to pay for it, you pay for everything up front or on the backside. Nothing's for free.
Nothing's for free. Nothing's
for free, brother. And a lot of people don't get that, and that's what burns them. because when it's time to pay, they don't want to pay the piper. You know,
Exactly.
to me, I was at a stage where I took it as a business. So when I got knocked and I went to court, it was business. I never took it personal. I didn't skits out about it. It's business. This is the business when a fireman risks getting burned, policeman risks getting shot, the little guy that fries chicken at Popeyes risks getting burned up with the grease. It's business. And that's how I took it. That's how I've always. But a lot of people get caught up in the hype and don't realize the consequences and repercussions on the back end. They don't know the rules. You know, you can ask him about Call of Duty and all that, and he knows all the cheat codes and he knows all the rules. But he'll get out here with a pistol or get out here with some dope and do something dumb and get slammed and not understand what he's really doing with his life, or the fight that he's fighting, or the battle he's fighting, or the weight he's going to have to carry for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Same with these little girls. They get out here and get fast and get jammed up, and they got all these videos and all these pictures online, and then they decide they want to do this and that with their life. And these HR people know what they're doing now. They dig up videos. The first thing they're doing is going to social media.
Oh yeah.
HR is going straight to social media.
Yep.
Who are you? What are you hiding? What are you doing? Who is this? Why are you doing this? Oh, you want to work here? You got a pound of weed on Instagram. You said over here you don't do drugs, but you got a pound of weed over here. That doesn't work. Not messing.
You ain't wrong, man.
This generation likes to snitch on itself.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They like to tell on themselves. I would never in my life do stuff they do on Facebook Live and Instagram and all that. Like, you're telling on yourself, bro.
Yeah.
Hey. Oh well.
Yep.
They can ride the heat.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to, do the time. Do the crime. You're gonna do the time. Regardless of something that's minor. And even in in states where I'm a big proponent of legalizing marijuana because it has a huge medicinal effects, especially for people like me with mental illness issues and glaucoma and cancer, blah 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 blah. But it's still federally illegal. It's still federally a class 1 felony, So regardless of what state you're in, most times, people still drug test because it's still federally, frowned upon. But yet, I don't care if it's legal. Don't do that until it comes off the books. You know what I'm saying? Keep it off internet.
It's not just marijuana though. It's everything.
It's everything.
Weed, everything. I saw some girls on there talking about, prostituting the other day, and I didn't know what it was. They got a little code for it, I guess. So I had to ask a girl at work, hey, what is this? Oh, she's a prostitute. Wow, that's the code for prostitute? She's like, yeah. Oh, shit, I didn't know. I see it all the time, never knew. Like, so you're just going to tell on yourself. Okay. Hey, this new generation, boy, they like to tell on themselves. Now, the police might be well retired now. It's just, they might as well just snitch and check themselves in. Hi, I'm here to turn myself in. What are y'all doing? Make the man do his job. Make him earn his money.
Exactly. Make it hard for him.
Make it hard for him. And if they're not snitching on themselves, they're snitching on each other.
Yeah.
When I grew up, it was a code of conduct. If this is a business you're in, this is how you act, this is how you react, this is how you handle yourself, this is what's acceptable, and this is what's not. And snitching was way on the top of the not list.
Yep. Nowadays, it doesn't matter.
Oh, man, they got world famous snitches now. They making videos and making music and telling everybody they snitch and running around. Wow. But luckily, I'm old and retired now. I don't have to deal with any of that. I try and catch the little ones and teach them, tell them something better. Hey, man, go to school, play sports, enjoy your family. For all these cats out here with kids, man, raise your kids, man. Don't leave your kids to the system. Don't leave your kids out here and think they're going to be safe, because there are so many predators out here.
Oh, my God.
If you got a kid now, you're at war.
You are.
If you have a child right now, you are effectively at war. There are so many child predators, and they're trying to say that pedophilia is a sexual preference now. Okay.
No.
Yeah, you better dig a lot of holes. You see Epstein magically committed suicide. before they could testify, he could snitch on anybody. They got rid of him. So yeah. And then did a Netflix documentary.
Oh my God, I watched that documentary, man, and it messed me up.
It was crazy
Woo!
to see the level at which he was doing what he was doing and getting away with it. The people that were around him, the level of people that were around him doing what he was doing, that knew what he was doing, clearly.
Including our president.
Yeah, and it was acceptable because he had money.
Yeah.
Boy.
Dude, I feel you, man. I really do. But I'm hoping, might not be our generation, but I'm hoping in my kids' generation, we see real change.
I think we're starting to see it now. I think it was going to take a major event, a major cataclysm of sorts to light the fire and set the spark, to spark the charge, to get things moving and make us examine, and I have no problem with law enforcement. I know a lot of law enforcement officers that are really good guys and ladies.
Me too.
Take really good care of their communities. And I know some dicks that really shouldn't have badges, that really shouldn't be out here, and are in it for the wrong reasons, that are really in it to persecute people and hurt people.
Mm.
And I've known both. And the problem is that the thin blue line deal makes it to the point where the good officers are shunned for trying to regulate the bad officers. That's what they have to fix.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about the snitches thing, and I think nowadays, especially if you're a police officer, that is one thing that you can't be afraid of. You know what I mean? Because they affect real lives. Real
lives.
And
generational, and they affect generational lives.
Mm-hmm.
You can't enforce the law and be above the law, because that goes back to dictatorship. That's
true.
Stalin. That's Stalin. That's the old dictatorships all over the world. So you can't be above the law and enforce the law. It's just like, I would never ask somebody to do something that I won't do myself.
Me neither.
But there's a lot of people that will. There's a lot of people that believe in the cannon fodder theory. I'm going to throw you out there and let you get clipped and run interference. You're just a pawn, blah, 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 on and on. So when they are able to regulate each other and hold each other to the standards that they were sworn into and the standards that they're supposed to uphold, then you'll start to see that shift. In the meantime and in between time, I don't think that the nation is falling for the banana in the tailpipe. And what I'm referring to is the whole race war thing that they're trying to push on all these different levels, on the subtle levels and above ground. Everybody's sparking here and shooting this and doing this and trying to bomb and pushing for the civil war that's going to kill the country at the end of the day. But a large part of this generation, to their credit, has woken up and said, nah, we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
We're not going to have it. And again, back to what we said earlier, I think music is a big part of that.
Oh, yeah.
I think music has bridged gaps that the powers that be that are really pushing for derision, they can't break that. There's no way for them to dig into that to that point. Music has bridged gaps that nobody 10, 15 years ago would have ever believed would be able to jump.
Exactly.
And that's across the world right now. It's crazy, some of the stuff you see. I watched a video yesterday. They had a Korean Marine having a dance battle against a U.S. Marine. And they were breakdancing. They were dancing. It was beautiful because it's music.
Yeah.
It's music. And in the worst situation they could be in over there waiting for World War III to jump off, and they're out there dance battling, having the time of their life. Because of music.
Yep. Music is universal. It is.
People are people. We come with different tints. We come in different sizes. We come with different dialects. But at the end of the day, we're all human.
We are.
I saw a meme that said, just be a good human. Don't worry about being a Republican. Don't worry about being a Democrat. Don't worry about being, the official race monger or war monger. Just be a good human. at the end of the day. If you can look in the mirror and say that, you're probably doing pretty good.
Yeah. I wholeheartedly agree with you on that, man. Because that's, again, it's, we're all, like I said, we're all brothers and sisters, man. Because we're all together in this fight and in this, battle of being humans, and the more peace that we have, the more love that we share, the more music or movies or books that we can all sit around and shoot the shit about is what it's all about. It really is.
Yeah. It creates understanding. A lot of people, when I started to travel and move around and see different countries and see, people, quote unquote, third world still living in shacks, still using outhouses. But see, my grandfather in Ohio had an outhouse when I was little.
Mine too.
So it wasn't weird, My grandfather still had well water for a long time. So, it's you start to appreciate different cultures. Like I said, I like to eat. So I like to try food from different places. I might not like it, but I'll try it just because I want to see what you eat like over there.
Oh, yeah.
What is your food like? If you want to learn something about somebody's food, music, and religion, a lot of times will tell you a lot, but religion usually ends up with so many different angles and agendas. It's always amazing me that you can put a Bible down and take 10 different religions and give them a paragraph or a passage, and they all see something different. And that's because they were trained on a different agenda. No matter what you read, this is what you see. Okay, buddy, we're good.
Yeah, no, I you're right there, bro. Because that's exactly how I feel about religion as well. Everyone translates it differently. Everybody reads it differently. I mean, it's religion, not spiritual, not God, not Jesus. Religion, has caused more war in this country. I mean, in this world, than anything else. And if that isn't an indicator for what's going on, look at my my ancestors who I probably still have cousins. Look at Syria. They've been in a civil war, of what religion is right for over 100 years. And every it's going on all the time. Look at what's going on in Jerusalem and stuff like that. People are still, whose holy land is this? Is it the Muslims? Is it the Jews?
War behind religion since time recorded, since Mesopotamia. They've been fighting. The original written law, they allowed their slaves to maintain their gods as long as they minded and did their work.
Yeah.
Since time recorded, they've been fighting. A lot of people, it's funny when people talk about different, weapons and martial arts styles and everything, and people are like, yeah, this, that, and other. I'm like, bro, you think we got it bad? Israel was surrounded by enemies in the 360. They've been fighting for their life from go. There's no downtime.
Yeah.
And even over here, I tell some of these kids, man, I think sports is one of the most important things for a lot of these kids because they get disciplined. But now they're even watering that down. You get participation trophies. Now you don't have to win.
Yeah, no. I feel you on that.
I saw a guy throw his kid's trophy away. He gave his kid a participation trophy. He said, "Did you win?" No, he threw it over his shoulder. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. You didn't win. You get trophies for winning.
Exactly. Dude, I love what you're doing. Your story is really fucking cool. To come from where you come from and where you're at now, and you're all about giving back and teaching the generation of today to not make the same mistakes that you made, and books and the giving back and so on and so forth. Man, it's just it's inspirational, and I wish there was more people like you in the world, man.
I appreciate it. Hopefully we can make some more or inspire some more people to step up. One of my biggest pet peeves is armchair quarterbacks. The people that sit around and throw rocks at everything. Oh, that's messed up. Oh, why is this? Why is that? But never, ever, ever get off their couch to do anything about it.
Yeah.
Never actually activate. Never actively engage in anything, but know everything. So, and I'm not just talking about donations, because a lot of times people make donations to these different charities and these different organizations, and the money never gets to where they think it's going.
Yeah.
They have to be very careful with some of these organizations Because when they actually start to dig into the finance, oh, well, no, we only do 20% towards whatever it is we're slamming down your throat. But the CEO is making $4 million a year. CEO is making, $450,000 a year. So you have to be very careful with those organizations. That's one thing that I always liked about the motorcycle scene and about the charity scene. Like, my friends and I are very active, but we're very hands-on. If they say they're buying blankets, we'll bring you the blankets. They said they were buying hoodies for the kids at the children's hospital. We went and bought like 75 hoodies, and we delivered the hoodies. Here you go. Half for girls, half for little boys, 3 different sizes. Here you go. School, we need school clothes. We'll go buy school clothes and we'll deliver them. Because now we know the money went where it was supposed to go. And ask when people donate charity money. A lot of this stuff, these tragedies and these people, are making these in a instance of George Floyd. He's from Houston. But there were people on every corner selling T-shirts. How much of that money went to his family?
That's a good question. I don't even know.
He had kids. But
Yeah.
you had people, everybody ran to the screen press and printed up these shirts, and BLM shirts or whatever it is. How much of this money finds its way back? And where does the money go? Did you buy libraries? Did you buy computers? Did you buy school books? What did you buy? Because I know good and well that all the people that were selling BLM T-shirts weren't affiliated with that organization.
Yeah.
That was just people trying to ride the wave. Whenever somebody passes and they put them on a T-shirt, and they had the T-shirts at all the gas stations and all the flea markets and all these other places, and none of this money gets back to this person's family. To me, that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
You're profiting off of this person's death.
Unfortunately, in this country, that's what happens way too often.
Yeah, it really does. It's crazy that we've commercialized tragedy to the point where everybody thinks it's a free-for-all.
Yeah.
Like, boy, if I don't know you and I don't like you, don't come to my funeral. Don't show up. Don't show up just because you think it's cool.
Yeah. I feel you.
I might sit up in the casket and slap you or something. What are you doing here? I don't like you. Out. I said out. Right now.
That'd be funny as shit.
They're going to be drinking whiskey anyway. They're going to be passing whiskey bottle. He set up. I don't know, man. This is a good ride. Turn it up, baby.
That's right.
Make it shake.
I'm serving beer at my funeral. I don't care.
Boy, everybody
go.
Whiskey. It's going to be a whiskey and a Neho kind of day.
There you go.
Be what it is. Little whiskey, little Neho. All my exes trying to figure out why they didn't get no money. Remember when you ran off? Remember when you thought I wasn't going to make it? Remember the most slick messages?
Yeah, I feel you on that one.
I'm going to leave you $1.75. Bus money. Please bust yourself away from me.
Or like back in the day, I'm going to give you a quarter to call somebody who cares.
Exactly. These days, I can let y'all go drop dead message on YouTube. Dear darling.
Yeah, here's a link.
Remember when you promised forever and it turned into forever? People say, I can't believe y'all broke up. I say, well, Future said it best. She's broke and I'm up. I don't know. Everybody, I think the orbit is in order. The solar system is moving wonderfully.
Yeah.
Man, life is good. People, I think, get so caught up in what they want and things that are out of their reach for whatever reason, be it the fact that it's not for them, they haven't worked for it, or it's not their time, that they forget to pump their brakes and enjoy the things that they have. They forget to look at the good things in their life.
Yeah.
They get so caught up in trying to be like somebody else and do what other people do and all that, and they forget, man, life is good. You woke up. There's obituaries in every city of somebody that had a worse day than you.
Exactly.
That person had a bad day.
You ain't wrong, man.
Guaranteed. So, I'm enjoying life. I get to be on podcasts and play with pit bulls and meet great people, and it's just starting for me.
Exactly, it's just starting.
I
But
have 2 more books after this one. I'm having a good time. I was supposed to be on the Save the Youth tour, and it got canceled thanks to the whole COVID-19.
yep,
Boy, 2020 has been that step cousin that you didn't like in every way, shape, form. The one that comes in and eats the food and leaves the door open and steals the car. That was 2020.
yep.
Boy, we're trying to get through this and hit the reset button. Like your fancy computer, we want to hit the reboot button.
Exactly.
2021, we can't do it this way. We need some upgrades.
Yeah, that's Cousin Reggie. Everyone has a Cousin Reggie.
Yeah, boy. Took the whole refrigerator for it to go play. Damn, son. Can you bring the refrigerator back when you're done?
His whole house was furnished by you, whether you realize it or not.
Boy, I'm trying to tell you, that really looks like all the cereal I bought last week on your shelf. How did it get over here?
Dude, this has got my name on it. Yeah, no, I'll get it back to you eventually. Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Sure you will.
Hey, man, you weigh 180 pounds. Them shirts look real big on you, little fella.
Is that my trash can?
Damn. Damn. Is that my name tag on there, too? You could at least took the name tag off the shirt. You trying to fake like you got a job now, too? Stop it. With it.
Damn it, Reggie.
Oh, man, everybody got a Reggie and a Regina.
They do.
That one girl that really swears that she talk and you like her and you really don't. Hey, no.
No, please.
What are you doing tonight? Not you. Bye. Not you.
Brother man,
Bro.
you again. You're hilarious as shit.
Okay, man. What can you do?
Exactly.
Right. I'm a popular fat man. I'm an oxymoron. I'm a white elephant. I am a tattooed Negro male that's 48 years old with no kids and never been married.
That is a white elephant, bro.
That's a white elephant, bro. They don't know how to act. You don't have kids? No. Are you sure? Pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure. I'm 39 and I might have more than 3. I don't know.
Hey man, coming from the generation that I came from and you came from, it's like playing spades. It's like 2 and a possible. That possible's always out there. Say the scariest thing when you locked up is every month the constable comes out there and serves child support papers. So first of all, you locked up, you can't pay child support.
Yeah.
So I really don't know what the purpose is. But he comes down the aisle with this a constable deputy with his little rolling cart, and all the dudes that know they got little kids get stiff. And they start calling names. Boy, it gets scary down there for that first year or 2. Oh, you got the guys that get hit like 6 times? I'm like, damn, son. We know you practice the 9 pull-out method, huh? You got a lot of kids, bro. 7, 8, 9 kids. You can't go straight. You just got to rob banks or something.
Yeah. Just keep it in your pants.
I'm trying to tell you, boy. I told dude they make 420 kinds of prophylactics and gels and sprays and foams, and you didn't use none of the 420. Negative. You're 0 for 420. You still popping babies out. And then mad at your baby mama. Stop it.
Yeah. I couldn't have said it better myself.
I hate my baby mama.
I got one.
Those 3 minutes.
I got one that I don't like.
Your life.
I got one.
18 years of hell.
Yeah. I got 4.5 years on one. I'm counting down the days.
No. They say you don't like kids. That's the question I get. You don't like kids? I love kids. I'm scared of baby mamas. I love kids. I'll be the first person watching cartoons and going to Chuck E. Cheese. I'm scared of that state of versus and all that, and having to argue. And Lord forbid you let something happen to my child.
Yeah, I got one that I fear too.
Yeah, it'd be hell to pay. My brother is bigger than me. My brother is 6'4", 280, and he likes kids. Well, he get a niece or a nephew, it's over. My little brother is mean too. We got 2 nieces and nephews. He the only one with kids. He got some beautiful little kids. Like, you the only one. My little sister don't have kids. My mama mad. She don't have 1 grandkid. Boy, she stay mad. She called me, when you gonna make me a grandkid? Call my brother. She called my brother. Call my sister. My sister call the boys. Not it.
That's awesome.
Oh, it's hilarious.
All right, man. Dude, again, you know, you are a survivor, an inspiration, and just an all-around giver, bro. And it's been an honor and a privilege to talk to you this last hour and a half, man. And you know, go out and follow Darius at Hostile Book on Facebook and on Instagram. Get his book on Amazon, and you know, do the Brains and Beauty Challenge. You know, read a chapter on Instagram or on Facebook, tag him in it, and he'll send you a nice little swag bag.
Yeah, please do, man. Read. You know, a lot of these young men follow women. A lot of these young women follow women, and we had to make it trendy again to be smart, trendy again to be intelligent. A lot of times I say somewhere along the line, being a gangster went from being, you know, we were always rough, but some kind of way it got misconstrued to be illiterate, ignorant, and inconsiderate.
Yep.
You know, and I was always raised, even in my roughest days, open doors for the ladies, help, you know, grandma with the bags and everything else. And these young ladies have to take that turn somewhere. And unfortunately, between you have Bad Girls Club and City Girls and Hot Girls and all this, and it's become really trendy. It's become really trendy for bad behavior. So we have to put the boot down somewhere.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, these are the mothers of our children. This is the mothers of the next generation, and they're going to set the standards for all the little babies that are popping up.
Yep.
And that's the foundation. Nobody spends more time with a child than the mother.
That's true.
So that's why we're trying to start it and make it trendy again. Some of these ladies that are in power, some of these ladies that are popular, these ladies that are living great lives and educated and, you know, doing everything the right way. We want to put them in the forefront and shine some light on them and tell them thank you. And we do appreciate what you're doing.
Yep.
We do recognize it and see it instead of just rewarding bad behavior all the time. You know, putting it up in the spotlight, you know, on TMZ and everything else. Oh, she did this and did that. But we don't talk about all the hundreds of millions of ladies that are doing great things, great positive things.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. So again, read that chapter of a book. It can be any book. Doesn't have to be Hostile. It can be any book. Just tag them on Instagram or Facebook at Hostile Book. And again, you know, just be that inspiration. Be that change you want to be.
Definitely.
But dude, yeah, definitely reach out to me about your podcast, and I'll help you out any way I can.
Definitely.
And I'll be there for you, brother.
I appreciate you having me on. I learned a lot today. I try to learn something from everybody. You know, the bipolar thing is, I feel for you, but I'm glad you beat. I'm glad you won the fight.
Yeah, I'm continuing. Well, it's a war, but I've won a lot of small battles, and you know, I'm gonna continue to fight that war for the rest of my life because I got a beautiful wife and family that need me. So you know what, bipolar is not gonna win.
Nope, that's the man in you.
Exactly.
That's what we're built for: protectors, warriors.
Yep, exactly. But Darius, brother, you stay safe, you stay healthy, and we'll definitely talk again soon, brother.
All right, sounds like a plan. Thank you.
All right, man. No problem. You have a good night now.
Care.
You too.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, that's Wednesday. Oh, excuse me. No, shit. Tuesday. Shit. It's Tuesday. Thank you very much. That was Tuesday. Casey Wright, Darius Slaughter. What a great freaking night it's been. To come back tomorrow. I got a comedian and a musician. You know, another doubleheader on a Wednesday. Can't go wrong with that. So come back tomorrow, 7 p.m. East, 4 p.m. West. And I think that's the last day I'm doing the doubleheader. Thursday goes back to normal. But until then, I love you guys. Stay healthy, stay happy, and as always, stay fucking heavy. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.